Debate live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live, and there's also a Ko-Fi, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show on Facebook and X. Now we are joined by Duncan, Adam, Neil, and a whole bunch of people in the Flat Earth Debate Discord server, so welcome one and all.
The con is on.
Hey.
Hello everyone.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good afternoon.
We're going to run through the housekeeping questions, but before I do, I have started a small Give, Send, Go campaign as my mute button's broken. Quite literally. I've worn it out through muting too many fundamentalist religious zealots, apparently. But in all sincerity, I've dropped my stream deck that one too many times, and now it's bust and keeps just flicking off and flashing and causing chaos, which isn't particularly good. But I have got through the intro. I was tempted to not do a show at all, as I literally am dependent on this box to run this show. So hopefully I can raise a couple of £100 and replace it. It has been repaired once before, in case anybody asks, by Craig from Click OK, who does occasionally appear on the show. Well, quite frequently recently, actually. So shout out to him for repairing it last time. But it is almost completely knackered. But hopefully I'll get another one by the end of the day. I wouldn't imagine it would be too difficult to raise a couple of £100 to replace it with. As is always the case when I have to buy anything for the show, I have to, unfortunately, e-beg to get it. So that's what I'm doing today. There is a link in the live stream chat to my £200 worth of Give, Send, Go campaign. Maybe I'll get to the end of that target by the end of the live show. We'll see how we get on. I'll shout anybody out if you do support me on that campaign. In the meantime, is there any evidence of a physical geometric sphere edge? That's a horizon formerly known as the curve of the Earth.
No
Nathan.
evidence that I can think of. Is there any evidence of guns in Antarctica?
Oh, come on, you stole my thing. I was going to say, Nathan, where's the guns, Nathan?
Is that going to be the answer to every question, Nathan? Where are the guns? Where are the guns, Nathan?
Yes.
The guns. Where are they, Nathan? Where are the guns? The guns,
But where's
Nathan?
the guns, for real?
Sorry,
know.
Neil, I
I'm
couldn't
sorry.
resist.
Anyway, so no evidence of Earth curve then?
None.
Any evidence of axial rotation of the Earth-based variety?
We will need to observe Coriolis effect, and we don't observe Earth-based Coriolis effect for that.
Speaking of which, my God, the chapter on Coriolis in this book is just dragging on and on and on and on. It's just making everybody... Oh, you're there most of the time, aren't you, Neil, although you keep quiet. It's going to easily be the longest chapter by a country mile. One chapter. It's just Coriolis, right? Goes on and on. And the whole time there's me going, just leave it out. Just get rid of it. Just get rid of it. Talking about chapters that have been written already in citations and stuff. And I'm like, I just want to get rid of all of it. I hate the chapter. I hate the discussion. Ironically, it's the one I'm most well versed in. But
You know
I just
what's
don't
funny?
like
You
it.
know what's funny? The one you hate the most is taking the longest.
Yeah,
You
it's
gotta
so
sit
annoying.
there and listen to it.
Yeah, very frustrating for me. It's already been written by me with me dictating it to someone else. Then it's been redrafted with that person having typed it up as an actual story rather than just verbatim discussion over a microphone. Then it's been turned into an actual book, redrafted again with me. Then it's gone through the hands of everybody in Ballbusters, basically, with me sat watching as they rip it apart and put it back together again. So, you know, when it comes to the Coriolis bits, previously it wasn't this irritating, but it really is. It's just frustrating. That said, it will be extremely comprehensive. It will be detailed in terms of debunking the assertions that we're spinning on a ball flying through a sky vacuum. And a lot of the assertions come along with quite handy-dandy flat earth proofs. So when they come along, it just adds to the time it takes to produce the book. So If anybody was hoping to get this book for Christmas, I'm so sorry. There's just no way. It's not going to happen. I kind of knew that about a week ago, but now we're getting really close to Christmas. I said to Adam yesterday, he said, I hope we get this done by Christmas. I thought, why is Adam saying this? He's literally typing it, right? So I'm like, there's no way this is getting done for Christmas. You know, anybody who thought they were getting this book as a present, he went, oh, no, I didn't mean the book. I meant the chapter on Coriolis. I'm like, oh, I was hoping we'd get this done tonight. No chance. Yeah. So
What about Little Christmas?
next Christmas? No, we won't. We will probably get the chapter done on Coriolis, hopefully by the end of the week. I mean, I can't spend another. Everything else is like a day or two. This has taken ages. Anyway, I'll stop moaning about my chapter on Coriolis. It'll get done when it gets done.
In the States, Nathan, we have this thing called Little Christmas. I don't know if you have it there. I think it's January 6th. So maybe it'll be done by then. You never know.
Sure. I mean, there's other bits that need to be de-Americanized, as I call it. So this might end up being one of the few parts of the book that actually gets credit. So I don't want to give anybody credit. I want it all for myself. I want the title on the book to be mine and it have no association with anybody, even if they've written it and given me the arguments. Sod you all. But seriously, this might actually end up with credit given to QE because there are examples that I've lifted directly from QE's website. Pure plagiarism with a couple of commas removed and some emojis taken out. But yeah, so based on that, there's examples that QE makes. And the examples are useful, like Charlotte, North Carolina to Los Angeles, California. And he's making the example, not me. And if it was me, I'd probably pick a different location because it wouldn't be an American-based example. Now, obviously, I've been using quantum erasers example for years. So in a way, it makes sense to keep the consistency. But as you write in the book, you're like, well, how do I take out the Americanisms, not make it glaringly obvious as plagiarism from Quantum Eraser's site, which is fine in a way. There's nothing wrong with that.
What's the name of the book?
All Roads Lead to a Flat Earth.
Yeah, but it's based on the housekeeping questions, correct?
That was the original working title. Housekeeping was the original working title.
And this is what you use. I don't care. We use it every day. We don't use two areas in England. We use Charlotte, North Carolina.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
It's
That's what I'm
fine.
getting across to the audience. By the same token, without sounding rude to QE, and I said this to him yesterday, but I'm not just saying it now because he's not here and I can be rude, but it's like I do need it to be my book, and it is lifted from your site. I do have to take out the Americanisms. And at one point, I said to Adam, would it not be appropriate? Because there's probably going to be more American readers of this book than there are, British English, if you will. Therefore, to keep it in British English rather than American English in certain places, to me, kind of makes sense. But Adam was quick to point out, well, no, there is an expectation that it will be in real English. Because that's what you use, regardless of whether or not the examples have come from American English or not. So again, just that in itself takes a little bit of discussion time, doesn't it, Neil? That takes up time. Just discussing these things.
Absolutely.
Anyway. Any evidence of the distance to the sun?
There's no way to measure the distance.
Any scientific evidence of gravity?
We'll need an observed phenomenon, Nathan. We don't have one of those.
What about
Naturally observed phenomenon.
What is?
You said you're going to need a phenomenon. I said a naturally observed phenomenon.
Yeah. He also said we don't have one, which is correct. Unless you want to count bent mathematics of pseudo-geometry, fourth dimensional space-time, definitely not a phenomena. What about any single viable hypothesis from any of the fields of astronomy, cosmology, or astrophysics?
I think we're going to need independent variables for those. We don't have anything.
So no science, then, for the globe? There was me thinking,
None that I can think
didn't
of.
we just have a final experiment, like the coup de grace, the death of flat Earth? Wasn't that called an experiment?
Oh, that's just pseudoscience, though.
Yeah. I asked Will Duffy when he left a message on one of my videos what is independent and dependent variable to formulate a hypothesis for the outcome of his experimentation he's claiming to do. He didn't have an answer. He went on to claim that he contacted me about a free ticket that didn't exist, having never actually spoken to me at all or offered me anything. That's what frauds do, though, eh? What can you do? Any evidence of the R value, Earth radius?
Well, in order to measure the R value, we're going to need a flat Earth.
So, in other words, the suggestion that we might burn on a ball has its origins in flat Earth measurements. Who would have knew?
It's like all roads lead to a flat Earth.
Isn't that just the case? That's why Coriolis is taking so long, really, because there's so many aspects that are mathematical in nature that require flat planes of reference when you're dealing with Coriolis. Reference frames, for example. It's littered with examples of flat Earth proof. And each time we get to one, I'm just as guilty. I'm moaning like this is all Adam and QE's fault. Like it's dragging out because of their wanting to make it long, where I'm just wanting to get rid of it. Not true at all. So yesterday there came a point where Adam exampled a flat Earth proof in the Coriolis discussion in one of the citations. And up until that point, I'm like, get rid of it, leave it out, hack it out, get rid of it. And they're like, no, we'll just put it somewhere else. This is Adam and QE. But at a point, it's like, Adam's like, should we add to it? In other words, add even more work to the workload by exampling this flat Earth evidence right in the middle of this Coriolis example. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. So we did. Right there and then we added this extra section to the book in mostly, was it all Adam that came up with that? I think it was all Adam. But up until the point, it was just a discussion point. Well, isn't that interesting? Look at this. This is a glaring flat Earth proof. And then Adam detailed why. I'm like, write that down, basically, after a bit of discussion. Write it down, because that's the point of the book. Exactly, Neil. All roads lead to a flat Earth. So when you come across an example where it's in requirement of a flat plane of reference, you're going to point it out. If we're measuring Earth flat, doesn't matter what the chapter's about. That's the whole point of the book. Where were we? Housekeeping. I do want to get them all done today. Any evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the centre of a presupposed spherical Earth?
Earth sonogram.
You're talking about P waves and S waves, or are you talking about seismology?
Yes.
Both require a flat plane of reference, Neil. Not evidence of a molten iron core.
Oh dear.
And molten iron cannot create a magnetic field.
Is there any evidence you can have pitch data on a globe?
Pitch from what?
From a horizontal plane of reference.
Oh, that's flat.
Yeah, you'll need a flat Earth for that too. Yeah, that's right. What about any evidence that you can have gas pressure, like we're all breathing, without the necessary antecedent of a container to press upon?
That's a tall order. That's a tall order there, Nathan. I don't think so.
You'll need a flat Earth to determine how tall things are.
Yes.
Any evidence that you can acquire an elevation angle measurement from a curved baseline?
Negative. And that's the funny thing about these people in Antarctica. They keep talking about measurements and heights of things, and they're just not comprehending it.
Yeah, I put that in one of the videos from a flatty that I am actually subscribed to. Fisherman in a Box. He was putting various different aspects from... It might have been Fisherman in a Box. It might have been someone else. I can't remember exactly who it was. Either way, if it's you, make a note in the comments section and correct me. I'm so sorry. But there was a flatty that had got involved, I believe, by discussing or having a debate with Will Duffy. And he was suggesting something that I had actually seen 10 years ago with reflections off the dome creating, I think they call it caustic coffee cup now. Whatever the hell they call it, I don't care. The guy was suggesting that he could model it with the AE map below it and that it all works fine. Now, in many ways, fine, perfectly, you know, your speculation's perfectly reasonable if that's what you want to do. I'm not going to decry anybody their speculation. But this particular dude was saying some of the information that we've gathered thus far from Antarctica looks suspect with respect to a globe. We'll start studying the angles, the elevation angles. And as soon as he said it, I'm like, yeah, any acquisition of informational data with measurements will be with respect to a flat Earth. It is the only way you can measure anything. You know what I mean? Or maybe this is me deflecting away with measurements. What with all the guns that we need to talk about down there and all.
You'd think the penny would drop by now.
I've responded to about 100 commenters about this in the last 24 hours, right? Just laughing my head off because I'm motivated to do comments when it keeps me chuckling as I'm doing them. As soon as I stop, when I just get bored, obviously you get bored. But while you're responding to people asking me, where are the guns, Nathan? I don't know which side they're on. Are you on Toon side and think this is a win? Or are you on my side and realise how hilarious it is watching Toon have a nervous breakdown in Antarctica while screeching my name at Dave McKeegan? I don't know.
Oh, poor Dave. I felt bad for him. He was so awkward for him, following him around, pacing, yelling. Can you imagine how he felt?
That's the one time I did feel bad for Dave McKeegan.
Not at all. It's like Gollum.
Yeah. My precious. What about the precious guns?
Anyway, fun. So yeah, if feel free to check out the last couple of days' videos in regards to that. I did actually do my own little trim of my own. We have been sent. Who is it that made the song? Was it Cheswick? I can only
Mr.
assume.
Cheswick.
I didn't want to assume, but I will assume it's Cheswick, and now I've confirmed that it's Cheswick. Right. So, Mr. Cheswick, I will share your video, but I don't know if it's all your melody, rhythm. I don't know how to copyright rhythms, but certainly the melody. Is it yours? If someone can ask Mr. Cheswick, I will share his video in a second, so you can go and leave him a nice comment and subscribe to him. He's probably more censored than I am, but he's far more controversial and doesn't give a crap about the YouTube terms of service. So, not unbecoming to someone who behaves like that they get removed frequently. But he does kind of lean into the fact that he gets removed. Now, I'm not going to criticise him, but just read the terms of service and you'll be around a lot longer. Hopefully this channel that I'm sharing with you now will remain, and you can just, in the meantime, let Mr. Cheswick know at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me. Oh, I'm going to have to press a button on my stream deck. Please work. That reminds me, I will do a shout out to my own Give, Send, Go campaign I've got going, and check if I've had any donations. It's only a couple of $100 that I'm actually trying to raise money for, but rather than sort of waiting for the end of the month, I do actually need to replace this today if I want to continue streaming this week, because it's completely buggered and keeps going wrong. So I'll get to that later anyway. I'm shouting out Mr. Cheswick. Let's stop e-begging while I'm shouting somebody out. There is a link going by. Thank God my stream deck worked for this occasion to show you that there is a link going by to Mr. Cheswick's channel. If you are in the over 100 people watching this live stream now, please toddle along to Mr. Cheswick and just let him know with a nice polite comment that at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me. And I'm being sincere in that. Hopefully someone will actually get in touch and say, did you make this song? Is it all yours? Because if it is, I'm going to play it. I'm going to trust that he won't copyright strike me. I'm not Fight the Flat Earth. So I will play it to you if I can find out if it's his. Now, I'm not that musically inclined to know every song ever, to know if he's robbed the melody and it's just his words. But if it isn't, and it is all his original material, maybe I should read the comments and find out from him in his own comment section. But if someone can let me know if they know that is his original material, I will play it on this stream. But in lieu of that, what I'm going to do in lieu of that is actually play. Did we do all the housekeeping questions, by the way? I'm getting a little bit distracted here. I want to do all of them. Did I cover them all?
I think we did. We even got the pitch data.
I had two answers. Just one. Did we cover them all?
Yes, I believe so. We even got pitch data and everything.
Surely there was something about the Antarctic sun in there. That's been a housekeeping question for years, hasn't it?
It's never been a housekeeping question.
Oh,
so I don't know why everybody's coming to us.
No, can't be right. Toon told his audience that I've been talking about Antarctica for years. Nay, talking about the guns that aren't down there for years. Surely it's a housekeeping question, because that's the stuff we, quote, always talk about. Like, on a daily basis, quite literally. So it must be in there, Neil. We do absolutely ask people where are the guns in housekeeping, don't we, Neil?
No, if anything, we're the ones that do not talk about it and decried it from the beginning.
Yes, indeedy. Anyway, so
I
if
got
you want to know...
copyright for you.
You what?
Right. That's why I just joined. I'd seen that and sent it. I just texted Mr. Cheswick to say, can we play this on QE Live and FED? And he said, yeah, you don't even have to ask, man. So
yeah, but that's not a good enough answer. Does he own the melody is the question, not can I play
it's
it.
creep, isn't it? It's creep, because I'm a creep.
Then I definitely will not be playing it then.
I didn't hear that in that. You sure that's the song?
That's not creep.
Similar, but not the song.
Although we've got
the lyrics certainly aren't, are they?
No, it's not the lyrics that concern me.
Well.
It's whether or not someone will come along and copyright strike me because it sounds familiar or has the same notes as another song, which is what the algorithm will pick up on and go, this doesn't belong to you, and they'll just ascribe all funds of this show to whoever owns the copyright to the melody if it picks it up. So I'm not going to risk it until I know for certain. Someone else publish it. He'd know. If he was asked, he'd know, because it would already tell him on his YouTube, whatever you call it, studio. It would tell him if it was, no, you're not getting any funds from this. So, I mean, I am here to earn money, as mercenary as that may sound. Speaking of which, I've actually got a GoFundMe now. Give, send, go. Should really call it the right thing because they're separate companies. So I should get it right. Not that I particularly care. But yeah, I've got a broken Stream Deck. So if you want to look at it from a humorous regard, I've had several donations, so I'll shout those out now. So shout out to Stephen Davis. Thank you very much indeed. Really appreciate it. He said, not much, but it helps in a note. Wow, what are you talking about? £10 is £10. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much indeed. Also, Dank, give me $20. Thank you very much. No comment, but he gave me a little heart. Same to Goldie. Thank you very much, all three of you. Really, really appreciate the support. A Stream Deck costs between 120, 130 and 200 quid, depending on which version you get. I had a quick look before we started, as soon as things started buggering up in my setup process. So there's a good chance if I can get to that 100 plus mark, I'll just get my wife to order it from Amazon so it arrives tomorrow. I'll mention again, in case anybody said, why don't you just get the one that you've got fixed? Because I already have once, and I keep dropping this stupid thing, and it wasn't exactly perfectly fixed when Craig fixed it the first time. There's things that are a bit wonky with it. But yeah, I just want to replace it. It's been very loyal and very good for the last 3, 4, 5 years, however long I've had it, but I just need to replace it. So unfortunately, as is always the case running flat earth shows, it's not exactly lucrative, and therefore I do have to put my hand out in eBay when anything actually breaks and I need to physically run the show with it. So thanks in advance to all of you who do support my, what's it called again, Give, Send, Go campaign. There is a link pinned in the live stream chat if you want to find your way to it and donate. Hopefully I'll get to the end of my campaign total by the end of the live show. We'll see how it goes.
Now, this is the community that I'm talking about. This community that you built.
Yeah. I was saying it when I was slagging off Jaren yesterday. People come here and expect what the category I've put these videos in is, which is education. Not, well, maybe you guys can figure it out in the comment section, because I haven't got a clue. How very useful, given that there's certain models and rhetoric that you punt that are absolutely dependent on this. Maybe the hundreds of thousands of people that have started following you will give you what you want, which is answers from them. I mean, bloody hellfire. I would expect that people who come to an education channel expect to be educated on the subject in the title. In this case, flat earth and how it's measured as such. That's what we give. Now, in the process of doing that and trying to educate people like Jaren about that process, we get called scammers. That's freaking outrage. No two ways about it. That's what we have to deal with. Why do those two Discords not match? Let's just move that up a little bit, make it match the other one. There we go. Very good. Right, shout out to Kelrick. Where are the guns, Nathan? This is the problem. I don't know if you're friend or foe. Obviously, you're giving me money to say that, but so are the people that are actually on Toon's side who think that they've got a win when he's ranting my name after putting the phone down on me because I've asked him about his 10k challenge measurements of a flat earth. So, depending on which side, where are the guns, Nathan, might be somebody who's got utter disdain for me, or someone who sees what we see, which is how hilarious Toon's meltdown is. Thank you for the super chat. Really appreciate the support.
You know what that reminds me of? I was just thinking of, what did that remind me of? Remember Jerry Maguire when he's like saying, show me the money?
Show me the
Can't you
guns!
sing? Show me the guns, Nathan. Where are the guns?
A couple of people had
Nathan,
to
anyone that watches your show knows that you haven't said anything about where's the guns in over 10 years. So it's
Well,
ridiculous.
in the context itself of the 10 years ago comment, I mean, I think it's me sharing someone else's video on Facebook or something along those lines. Now, I had to have somebody contextualize it for me in the comment section because I couldn't fathom what it's about. I can't place what I'd be talking about. But from what I can glean, it's just me doing it, remember, I'm sharing someone else's video, and the context of that video is what's described in my comment. I.e., if you watch that video that I'm sharing on Facebook, now, I could be wrong about this, like I say, it's not me that's trawled through this. I'm not spending months and months trying to find a 10-year-old comment to discredit me with a straw man with. But there we go. I mean, if you actually want the context, that's what it seems to be. Me sharing a video and saying, this is what's in the video, and detailing it. So it's about ice walls, and it's about azimuthal equidistant projections when I first came to this subject 10 years ago. Now, subsequent to that, I've interviewed somebody that went down there, and the context of the guns comment, if you want to know that, again, this isn't me, this is someone pointing it out to me, talking about if you try and go anywhere without permission, not just Antarctica, but Antarctica more so, because of the Antarctic Treaty. Therefore, if you just try and go down there and explore willy-nilly, you're going to be stopped. That's the point of the stopped at gunpoint comment, which is absolutely the case as far as I am concerned. Now I've had it contextualised for me. But when you just throw in something that you've made a comment about when sharing a video 10 years ago, you're like, what the hell are you talking about? But when you say I haven't said it, no, the words have not crossed my lips, but they might be on a Facebook share for a video that isn't mine. But, you know, take that as you will. If you've been deeply offended by me sharing a video 10 years ago and making comment about whether or not you'll be turned away if you try and go to Antarctica, not by the way, on a guided tour, yeah? Or not if you're Robert Shortman and a plumber down there. I mean, that would be obvious to anybody who watched my stuff 10 years ago. But if you didn't watch my stuff and you just solely came across that comment and nothing else 10 years ago, then there is a solution to your problem. Now, this is tried and tested, no less. So if you're deeply aggrieved by the fact that I shared that video and talked about being turned away at gunpoint, then there is a solution. All you need to do is go down to Antarctica and scream my name at Dave McKeegan. Then you'll be feeling much better about it. There's your solution.
Well, I think what people are
Nathan,
saying
we've
is
got a
from
reply from Mr. Cheswick. Sorry.
Woohoo!
You got turned away at gunpoint?
I did.
what people are saying is that you said at one time that a 24-hour sun will not work on a flat Earth. I never heard you say that personally, so I can't.
No, someone
speak to
showed me a
that.
video where I think I'm interviewing Robert Shortman at the time, where I'm going over what is and isn't possible based on his testimony. I think there is actually material out there of me saying you can't have a 24-hour sun in Antarctica. Now, okay, either way, if I had or hadn't said it 10 years ago, it still wouldn't make any difference to our argumentation. Now, if someone wants to lie and say that's been Nathan's rhetoric for 10 years, it hasn't. Just go and listen to any show. Housekeeping questions are what we have discovered on our journey through this subject. If you want to hold me to what is perceivably a 10-year-old claim that you say I have made about there being no sun in Antarctica, oh, do you want my humble pie? Oh, no worries. Oh, I was wrong. So wrong 10 years ago. Like I say, if you feel aggrieved, go down to Antarctica, yell my name at Dave McKeegan, and you'll feel much better about it. Because obviously, from 10 years ago, all those people who feel aggrieved will seek solace in Antarctica, screaming at the snow. Having hung up their call, they can call into me, like Toon did. You know, then put the phone down when I mention measurements. So yeah, if you feel aggrieved, just nip down to Antarctica and yell at the snow. Say my name.
I gotta tell you, sorry, go ahead.
Mr. Cheswick's got back in touch. I asked if it was original music. He says, yeah, dude, he just wrote it last night. Feel free to play.
Absolutely awesome.
Nice.
Right, so,
I knew it.
Oh, great. I'll share this link again. Well, you get the extra bonuses. You get people coming and commenting and telling you Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me while they listen to your original music, as should be the case from the bloody algorithm. Not that I'm saying I don't mind doing it for Mr. Cheswick, but he should get this sort of, you know, promotion anyway. He never will. He knows he never will. I'm lucky enough to have 50% more viewers than I normally have today. Great, I'm elated, but Mr. Cheswick will never get that sort of support. So please do go along to Mr. Cheswick's show, his channel rather, right now, and give him a like, give him a share, give him a subscribe, and definitely leave him a comment and let him know at Nathan Oakley 1980 sent me. You can see the link to Mr. Cheswick's video, which is called Where's the Guns, Nathan? Open brackets, McToon Goes Mental Mix, original song. It says it right in the freaking title. I'm such an idiot. Why don't I read? It says it right in the title. Original song.
Yeah, but
It's always worth checking. That's my excuse. Right.
Now, I gotta say before we move on real quick, the way that McToon was pacing around on the phone. Now we've all had conversations like that, and he is just so frustrated, and it's just so funny. I just want to point that out.
Okay, well, without further ado, thank you. Mr. Cheswick with Where's the Guns, Nathan?
The sun is shining, he's alone, raging into his iPhone, screaming at the top of his lungs as a 24-hour sun. Oh, how we laughed in this flat land at such a comical sight. To see McToon, the globe head goose, spewing out his shite. Shouting! Where's the guns, Nathan? You promised that I see. I'm all alone here raging. Everyone loves and blame. Oh, where's the guns, Nathan? In this and our secret bliss. Not come all this distance just for you to take the piss. The ice wind's blowing, here he goes, pacing like a lunatic. Upside down on a spinning globe, but the best is yet to come. Oh, how we laughed in this flat land at such a comical sight. To see McToon, the glove head goon, spewing out his shies, swinging. Where's the guns, Nathan? You promised that I see. I'm all alone here raging. Everyone loves and me. Oh, where's the guns, Nathan? In this and our secret bliss. I've not came all this distance just for you to take the piss. The sun is shining, he's alone, reaching into his iPhone, screaming at the top of his lungs as a 24-hour sun. Oh, how we laugh
dumb liar. Every single one of your dumb followers needs to look at their lives and realize Nathan Oakley is a liar. Since 2016, he's been saying if you go to Antarctica, you will be faced with gunpoint and turned away. Where's the guns, Nathan? Where's the guns? I don't see any guns, Nathan!
That's hilarious.
Awesome.
That's absolutely brilliant.
Very good.
Oh my gosh, that
That's not the
ending
one I
is
heard.
perfect.
Where was the music?
Where was the what?
What I heard was like an acapella. I didn't hear any music.
You didn't hear any music?
No, I just heard the guy singing. Before I heard a whole song.
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it was vocal isolation.
It could just be my G Plus filter that I've got to stop audio chaos reaching you in G Plus, filtering out some of his music. But it certainly made it to the live stream audience. Everybody enjoy
but
that
you
in the
heard
live
the
stream
music,
audience? Please
right?
let me know in the chat if that sounded great. It sounded so good here that both my kids burst in and started dancing. So I'm like, I'm definitely going to point the camera at that. No worries.
Oh,
Anyway.
okay, you got the music. All right, great. Yeah, because the song I heard earlier was great. This sounded like acapella, but I understand now.
Cool. There is another video that I boshed together. So, I mean, whether or not you want to let me know that I sent you is probably not relevant, but I will put a link to this particular video, which I released yesterday as well.
Where's the guns, Nathan? Where's the guns? I don't see any guns, Nathan!
It's okay.
Where's the guns, Nathan? You will be faced with gunpoint and turned away.
It's all right. It's just.
I don't see any guns, Nathan!
Oh my God!
I don't see any guns, Nathan! Where's the guns, Nathan?
It's all right. It's just. It's a sensitive trigger.
I don't see any guns, Nathan! Where's the guns, Nathan? I don't see any guns! I don't see any guns!
Oh dear. I'm sure the Antarctic Brigade didn't
Hey everyone,
really
I
intend...
decided it's time to take
sorry.
a third stab at a reaction video.
I'll have to go past Dave. Yeah, so I didn't necessarily... I'm sure if you were down in the Antarctic crew, you didn't intend your hard work, if you want to call it that, to be ruined by a little meltdown by McToon. And have him screaming my name into the Arctic abyss. Antarctic, I should say. And, well, there we go. That's how it ended. Wonderful news for me. Thanks, Toon.
All the polar bears know that you're a liar now, Nathan.
The penguins know I lied about the guns, don't they?
Yeah.
No matter how much they try to like smash you or put you down, it just rises to the top. Thank you, Toon.
Why is Toon really going nuts? I've heard all the excuses in my comment section over the last 24 hours. It's because he wasn't wearing a hat. It's because he didn't have his sunglasses on. That's why he went nuts. No, he called up Flat Earth Debate and said there's a 24-hour sun. And I asked him if he stayed up and watched it for 24 hours personally. He said he did. Then I asked him about the flat Earth angles in his 10K challenge. Now, why would I be asking that? Well, I'll tell you. Because I've asked him 100 times. And has he answered me? No. That's why he felt the need to call me. Because in his mind, showing a 24-hour sun proved something. It didn't. But he thought it did, didn't he? So much so he wanted to rub it in my face. And what did he get? He got asked about his flat Earth measurements. And then he put the phone down on me and screamed my name into the abyss. I mean, Dave McKeegan. That's what effect real flat earthers have on people like Toon when he's literally in Antarctica, seemingly with a globe proof, and yet he's screaming my name like a nutter. Yeah, why do you think that is? Is it because there's no guns down there? No. It's because he measured Earth flat and I have pointed that out to him 100 times. That's not an arbitrary number I've made up either. I counted them every single time I put it to him. Personally. That's me telling Toon personally in no uncertain terms. You measured Earth flat for your 10K challenge, Toon. You proved Earth is flat, son. That's why he's screaming my name into the Antarctic abyss. Not 'cause there's no guns. He dug that out from 10 years ago to try and hold it up as a straw man to what, demand I remove my channel? Shut your down, shut. Yeah, I'll endeavour to do that there, Toon. Good on you, son. Well done, mate.
Shut your down, shut. You hit it right in the head, Nathan. He knows Earth is measured flat. And when you brought it to his attention, he immediately put the phone down and it was over.
Don't you think it's ironic that he runs Katz's channel and Katz ran away because he'd been asked 100 times how you can have gas pressure without a container? Couldn't cope, gave up his channel, gave it to McToon, and here we are with Toon being asked 100 times about his elevation angles in his 10k challenge, about him measuring Earth flat. Yeah, what a coincidence. Seems like that channel's cursed. Hey, Adam. Thanks for sharing that video, by the way, Adam. Where are the guns, Nathan? It's obviously made an impression. Shout out to...
He's come back to me as well and said it's his own original song, so it was sort of cool. I assume that's why you played it.
I got to play it all. It's not often that you get to do something like that, so that is a real treat. Thank you, Mr. Cheswick. I don't think I've actually... Did I actually thank him? Well, I'm thanking him now. Thank you so much for letting us play that. It's a real treat.
Yeah, it's a great tune, but I got in touch saying maybe he missed a trick or he could do another song about being asked 100 times, and all he could say was, "Where's the guns?"
Yeah, people don't know that. They don't know the reality. Now, there's plenty of people in my comment section that are absolutely aware of that, because every time McToon appears in my comment section, what do you think I'm asking him? Toon, you know you measured Earth flat in your 10k challenge, right? That's what he gets told. And then I tell him how many times I've told him previously. I count them off and put a number next to them. So if you're a regular and you watch the show and you comment, you'll have seen it. That's why there's so many people going, no. He's meaning that literally. He's asked him. It's not even a question. I've put it to him 100 times. So there's a few globers that are like, 100 times, ha ha ha. Like stupid lying glurf exaggerators. Or flurf. Sorry, let's get the context correct. It's me, flurf. Stupid flurf liars saying he said it to him 100 times. Yeah, I have. Literally. That's why he's raging. That's why he's screaming my name. That's why the Antarctic sun wasn't enough for him. That's why he needed to call me. Yeah? And what was the result? Him strolling around in circles screaming my name. Yeah, nothing to do with guns, in case you hadn't figured that out.
Nathan, let's do a little history on this. He's come on once before, him and Fight the Tight Shirt Craig, and they came on with some nonsense. They're giving out awards like a joke that wasn't funny. And then he comes on now after supposedly viewing a 24-hour sun just to scream at you. He's in deep pain. That's what it is. He won't come on and have a conversation or a debate about how Earth is measured flat, and he knows it as well. Now they'll come up with this little nonsense. Have fun.
Don't need to. Every time I put the fact he measured Earth flat to him in the comments and counted them off, it would inevitably become something he would regret, because he's measured Earth flat. Once you've done that, what are you going to do? What are you going to say? No, my 10k challenge and its flat Earth measurements aren't relevant anymore. Anyway, if you've come along and you want to know what the dealio is with the Antarctic observation, it is no different to what we were saying before it, and I might as well reiterate it now. It's based in a fallacy, one of which I can drop because the flat earthers have been proven wrong with their azimuthal equidistant globe projection. So I won't even reiterate that because it's not worth it anymore. But the globers fallacy is to affirm the consequent. If I assume I travel antipodal, then I will observe a 24-hour sun. I observe a 24-hour sun, therefore I arrived antipodal from when I began. No. So that's the affirming the consequent formal logical fallacy that we've been detailing for about 12 months. Nothing's changed. Doesn't prove anything. Meanwhile, if you want to actually use the sun, you can use it for navigation. You can plot ground positions with it. Yeah, that's how the maps are made. That's how the globe was made, for these guys to reify it into a model that they can put themselves antipodal with respect to northern positions. It's like northern? What direction with respect to a plane? You're going to call south the bottom of a ball? No, idiots. But there we go. We've been saying exactly the same thing before they went, now, and during the time they were down there. As a result, when we counteract their begging the question, affirming the consequent fallacy with actual measurements, they rage and scream into the abyss of Antarctica about where are the guns. It's like, all I did was ask him what about his measurements that he made? The ones that he made on a flat Earth with angles to stars? Anyway.
It's very easy. Just stick to the measurements and you'll be fine.
Everyone's entitled to their belief. If people want to believe that they travelled antipodal on a ball and then observe the sun, then they're welcome to. And if they want to tell me I'm an idiot when I point out an antipodal assumption that has no validity, in fact, quite the contrary, the journey down there was done on a plane. Before Will Duffy went down there, we suggested to him, I say we, it's not, it's Brian. Brian said, just get pitch data. Save yourself the trouble, save yourself the expense. We've been trying to get pitch data for years and we're told it would cost $100,000. So if you can get that, it'll be cheaper than a whole bunch of people paying 40 grand. Just get pitch data. And then what do you know? We got pitch data and we can say, here you go, here's an NTSB source that showed you flew to the Antarctic region with respect to a plane. There's the data, it's measured flat. What more do you want? All right, you've looked at the sun. And? Well, if I assume I went to the bottom of a ball, looking at the sun means I'm on a ball. No, it means you've assumed you're on the bottom of a ball. Where'd you get the ball from? Oh, elevation angle measurements to the stars to create the ball as a paradigm in mathematics. Yeah, that's a flat Earth measurement prerequisite also, though, isn't it? Your ball requires a flat Earth too.
No, instead you got Whitsitt saying the data point where he is located at the moment matches a globe.
Is that so?
This is what you get from flat earthers.
What the globe, that's been projected with respect to the celestial sphere with Haversine conversion? You'll need a flat Earth for that globe. They're just not getting it. Anyway, he's just creating an artificial win and hit piece with this. I don't know what this is. He is so desperate. I think by this, Elvis Kvorvik is suggesting that his Where Are the Guns Nathan video, utilising a 10-year-old comment I made when sharing a video, is the thing he used for a hit piece. Maybe. Thank you for the super chat either way. Really appreciate it. Unitox Femo also. Sunset can't work on FE. No sunset on Antarctica. Okay. Thank you for the super chat. Really appreciate the support. Dead Central.
If Flat Earth is dead, as they now declare it because of this final excrement, then surely they're going to close all their channels down, because what are they going to make content about? All they make content about is Flat Earthers. So now there's no Flat Earthers. Bye-bye, McToon. Bye-bye, Dave McKeegan. We don't need you here anymore.
Well, no. I mean, what actually happens is a load of people who had a flat Earth belief get eradicated because they depended on having an azimuthal equidistant globe projection to base their belief on. And there might be quite a few people angry with Dave Weiss because he's flogged them that globe projection as a flat Earth map. So there might be a few people asking him for refunds and calling him a con man and a grifter, because that's how it's turned out for Dave. Oh, well, Dave, never mind. Better luck next time. It doesn't affect us in the slightest, so...
Well, not us, but in the mind of McToon, he's settled the debate. That doesn't exist. So what's he going to make content about now? If he's making content about flat earthers in the future, we can point out, hold on a minute, you said it's settled.
Yeah, it isn't, or he wouldn't be calling me from Antarctica, would it?
True.
But I'm very grateful he called me from Antarctica. I'm glad my name was yelled into the abyss as a man has a nervous breakdown. You'd think he'd just claim the win, like you say, and gone, wow, I don't need to make any videos anymore. I've won. Because I had a look at the sun in Antarctica. It went round and round in circles. Therefore,
no,
I assume I'm on a globe,
guns
and that's the only way it can work.
Sorry, no guns in Antarctica equals globe.
Yeah, like Brian's been saying for ages, their intentions are to discredit individuals like it has any bearing on the argument. Well, this person's making the argument. And if I show that 10 years ago he shared a video and said that there would be people stopping you from going to Antarctica, and I got here on a guided tour and there was nobody stopping me with guns, then everybody should feel aggrieved. Yeah.
It's like
if you are that person, feel free to go down to Antarctica and scream my name into the abyss. I'm sure it'll make you feel better too.
it's like a revised poisoning of the well fallacy.
Got John LeBon in that chat. Hey, John. Long time no see.
Hey, it's great to be here. Hello to Nathan. Hello to the panel, all the listeners around the world. So it's great to be here. I wanted to ask you guys, were you predicting there would be footage of a midnight sun, like say 6 months ago? Did you predict this would be the outcome?
No. What we broke down was the two sides of the false dichotomy. So from the globe side, if you affirm the consequent, you can suggest that no 24-hour sun would prove Earth is flat. Fallacy, false dichotomy. On the other side is globe, suggesting antipodal positioning will prove a globe. So it's two sides of a false dichotomy. Both affirm the consequent. We pointed out both sides of the fallacy. So we didn't really make any predictions.
That's a lot of words there,
although,
I just mean as in, suppose someone came to you 6 months ago and said, do you believe there would be a midnight sun in Antarctica in December? Had that happened 6 months ago, would you have predicted yes?
We would have said we don't really base much on beliefs anymore. We tend to go with measurements of things. But you're entitled to your belief.
You wouldn't have guessed yes or no. You wouldn't have had an opinion if there's a sun down there in December.
He wants a yes or no.
Did you hear the answer?
I mean, you're entitled to your
belief. Because I would guess yes. If someone said to me 6 months ago, if someone got to Antarctica in December, would there be a midnight sun? I would have guessed yes. But it would have been a guess. I wouldn't have known for sure, but that would have been my best guess. But you're saying that none of you guys would have had a guess either way.
No, so when people put it in false dichotomy, we broke down both sides of the false dichotomy and didn't make a prediction.
Just because you call it a false dichotomy, that doesn't mean it's a false dichotomy. Yes or no, would there be a midnight sun down there? That's a simple question.
I heard the question.
It's like yes or no, if you go to the pharmacy today, will the pharmacy be open or closed? It's either open or closed. That's not a false dichotomy. Will there be a sun in Antarctica in December?
Sure. I mean, but if it is a false dichotomy, we could break it down and detail the false dichotomy instead of making a prediction.
Well, you call it a false dichotomy. That doesn't mean it is a false dichotomy. Is there a sun down there or not in December? A midnight sun? Would you have guessed yes or no? I would have guessed yes. I think you guys would have guessed no.
You think that? Did you look at your crystal ball? Did your crystal ball tell you what I'd think?
Well, I'm asking you. You won't answer the question.
But you've already decided based on what your crystal ball... I mean, it seems like I'm trying to answer, but JLB, you don't know what I'd think about it, but your crystal ball told you thought I'd think that. That's fascinating.
Well, I'm asking you. I'm just asking you the question. Like, what would you have guessed?
Okay, do you want the answer? I'll try and give it for a fourth time. So we broke down the false dichotomy of assuming that the lack of a 24-hour sun would prove a flat Earth, or there being a 24-hour sun would prove a globe. That's a false dichotomy. We broke that down for both sides of the false dichotomy, rather than expressing our beliefs about what might happen, or in the case of you, divining the thoughts of others with your crystal ball. Tell us again what you thought I'd think there, JLB, because that's fascinating psychology, that you would use a crystal ball to divine my thoughts. You have no idea what I'd think.
At some point you did say...
And even when I'm trying to tell you, you're talking rather than listening, John. You seem very ignorant while you're talking, and I'm breaking down your crystal ball you used to tell my audience what you thought you'd think I'd think. Now, I didn't think what you thought I'd think. I just broke down the false dichotomy that people were using and pointed out the fallacious reasoning that they'd be using on both sides of the false dichotomy. Now, you may not like that answer and demand that I give you a yes or no about whether or not something could happen. It's just we didn't do that. You could do what Toon did and go back 10 years and see if you can find me saying it. You could do that.
It wasn't 10 years. You weren't doing Flat Earth content in 2014. So I don't know why you keep saying 10 years. It was less than that.
That's a fantastic non-responsive answer to my pointing out what I actually did in response to your original question about my prediction I didn't make.
But why do you keep saying it was 10 years ago? It wasn't 10 years ago. Like, this is all documented and factual. So why do you keep exaggerating?
Why are you so non-responsive to my answer? I gracefully gave you an answer about what I actually have done in light of this expedition, and you've been completely non-responsive. It's like I didn't say anything. It's like you talked through it 4 times and then ignored it. Very ignorant. See, you'd have made a guess then. Why would you make a guess? Do you base most things that you disseminate to people on belief, like guesswork? Is that how you work?
Well, I did ask you, what would you have guessed? And
what would you have guessed?
So the obvious inference is you would have said
it's not worth anything. I'll just do what you do and talk straight to the top of you, JLB, with your guesswork. Is that what you sell your website subscription on? Guesswork? You have a little guess about stuff.
Well, I've never been to Antarctica.
That's
If you
pretty
said to me,
crap
would there
then.
be
I
midnight
wouldn't
sun
be
in
making
Antarctica in
guesses
December?
about it
I
then.
would've
You
said,
look
yeah,
pretty
probably.
stupid if you make guesses, JLB. Guesses have people like me pointing out how stupid it is to guess.
Were you guessing when you said that there'd be guns to stop you from going to Antarctica?
If you go anywhere, people will stop you if you haven't got permission. You never been through passport
I guess you
control?
don't know what an
You
elevation
never been
angle
through
is, my friend.
passport control? Ever been through passport control?
Not to Antarctica.
Ever been through any passport control anywhere? Did you see armed
Not
guards?
to Antarctica. Have
Did you? So, oh, my bad. So it's only Antarctica that you're
so you're
allowed to
guessing
go.
there'd be guns if you went to Antarctica. So what's your problem with guesses now?
I'm not guessing anything. What have I guessed?
This is really
You were
disingenuous.
saying that there's some problem with guessing. Well, we haven't been to Antarctica, so if you had to guess would there be a midnight sun, I would have guessed yes. You apparently wouldn't have guessed because of some kind of affirming the consequent, fallacy, double-blind, slit test thing, all these words.
I didn't say those
it's a simple
words.
thing. Would there have been a
Maybe you
midnight
could
sun?
make up double blinds.
That's a
Those
simple
words
thing.
didn't cross my lips, JLB. You just made that up.
Well, it's a kind of like jumble gobbledygook fallacy.
No,
thing
I said
that
it
you've
was
got
an
going
affirming
on
the
here, you know?
consequent fallacy. You just didn't listen. You were incapable of listening because you were talking while I was
Affirming
talking.
the
Because you were
consequent-
insistent that I gave you a yes or no answer. When it didn't come, you didn't know what to do. So you did what you're doing now, which is yammering through the top of the reply you actually got and being incapable of responding to what you actually got because you've got a limited scope. If you don't get a yes or no, you don't know where to go. I broke down the false dichotomy fallacy and affirming the consequent fallacies on both sides. That's what I did. Maybe ask me for the 7th
And where
time
are
if
you
I
getting
could
all
make
of
a
this
guess.
fallacy stuff
Maybe
you're talking
talk
about?
straight
What's
through the
the
middle of me.
authority who
Maybe
decides-
talk straight through the middle of me, suggesting you ask for a 7th time if I made a guess about it. I didn't. But
Did you
you'd have
guess
guessed
about
there
the
wouldn't
guns stopping
be.
people going to Antarctica?
You'd have guessed, would you?
I would have guessed if you
Why?
went to Antarctica in December,
Why?
there'd be a midnight sun.
Why?
And I think some of the people on the panel would have guessed there wouldn't have been a sun. And
With
maybe
your
they'll be
crystal
honest about it,
ball,
maybe
yeah,
they
we
won't.
covered that. You've got a crystal ball and can divine the thoughts of the people on the panel, right?
It's a different crystal ball to the one that you used to say there'd be guns to stop you going from Antarctica. There was
So have you been
a
through
crystal ball.
passport control? Anywhere, ever?
Not to Antarctica. And not
Oh,
over
right. Oh, I see. So the Antarctic Treaty, where 10 years ago, and I started looking into this subject as an amateur. Oh, sorry, my bad. Very important. Not quite 10 years ago, because that's the main detail here, majoring on the minors.
It was less than 10 years ago. It was less. I don't know why I keep saying that. It's factually untrue. Don't you care? Like, don't you want to be accurate with these things?
Did I not just correct it literally 5 seconds ago, John? Weren't you listening again?
But why have you been saying 10 years all this time? For the last 48 hours, you've been saying it was 10 years ago. It wasn't 10 years ago. It was much less than that.
Much less than
You
that.
weren't even, no one was
when-
making flat Earth content in 2014. Not you, not me, nobody. It was 2015 that it became a
Red
big
herring.
thing. And then
Yes,
2016
complete
was
red
when you
herring
got big.
fallacy, because he
It was much
doesn't
less
know
than
how
10
to
years ago.
respond to me breaking down a fallacy he presumably doesn't understand.
Was it a fallacy when you say things that are untrue? It wasn't 10 years ago.
Which fallacy would that be? Would it be the affirming the consequent I answered your question with?
I would just call it lying or exaggerating. Pick whatever you prefer.
Is it just me, or does JLB want to call me a liar based on what he divined my thoughts would be in his crystal ball?
Well, you're changing the subject.
Maybe
now. Was
we
it
should
10 years
focus
ago or
on how
less?
many
If it was
years
less
I've
than
been
10,
doing
why are you
this.
saying 10?
That's very important when I point out the fallacy that was used by both sides. Rip them both a new asshole based on their use of fallacy, as opposed to make a prediction.
Just
But we
'cause
could
you call
focus on how
something
many years
fallacy
I've been
doesn't
doing
mean
this,
it's fallacious, though.
because that's
That's
much
just you
more
saying that.
important. Or you could just talk straight through the
But
middle of me,
you're
because
not the
that'll
authority
get
on
you the win
fallacies.
here,
You don't get to decide,
JLB.
oh, well, I don't know
You
why- I don't
talking
like that, so
straight
it's a
through the
fallacy.
middle of me. Like, what is it? Do you need to mute what I'm saying so you don't have to
If
listen to
someone
it?
says something you don't like, oh, that's a fallacy. That's a fallacy. Just
No, I
call it a
broke down the
There you go.
fallacy.
End of discussion.
No, I broke down the fallacy. Unfortunately, some people like yourself, JB, don't want to listen. They'll talk while I'm talking. Like, somehow that overcomes what I'm saying. It is an affirming the consequent formal logical fallacy on both sides, flat Earth and globe, stacked up in false dichotomy.
Because you say so.
If I say so while you're responding before you've heard the end of the statement, yeah, I do say so. What do you
It's a
say
fallacy
in
because you say
response
so.
to that? That specifically. Or maybe ask me about how many years I've been here. Yes, it is. That is what I say. Yes, I say so.
Well, I was trying to ask you earlier, when you talk about these fallacies, what are you basing that on? Like, what's the central authority of fallacies?
The definition of the fallacy that I use in detail. It would be based on the definition of the very specific fallacy that I detail within the context of the example being given fallaciously. I'll detail the example.
definition from who?
The fallacy being
Whose
used. Maybe you could just start talking while I'm answering you, JLB. Maybe that'll make you seem really reasonable. Or it'll make you seem like you're losing badly, like your crystal ball didn't succeed here.
Okay, so whose definition of
Will
fallacy,
Duffy
though? When you
created
keep
the
calling
You
these
can look up
fallacies,
any
whose
definition of
definition?
affirming the consequent. It's a specific formal logical fallacy.
Okay, so whose definition are you using?
I didn't define
the
it. I am
same.
using anybody's. I defined what is being done.
So you just made it up yourself?
When... Sorry, you want me to detail the fallacy to you? Do you not know what affirming the consequent is?
But where'd you learn this stuff? All these things
Do
you're saying.
you not know?
Did you just make it up, or have
Do you
got
not
this
know?
from like a
So you're
philosophical
suggesting
textbook
I've
or something?
made up the fallacy of affirming the consequent, a formal logical fallacy that's
I'm
well
asking you,
documented.
where'd you get
Are
this information, this
suggesting,
idea?
while you yammer through the top of me humiliating you? No, that's a formal logical fallacy, JLB. Are you unaware of the fallacy of affirming the consequent, yes or no?
I'm asking you, where'd you learn this stuff?
Yes or
Where can I
no,
go to get the source
JLB? Do you
material?
not know what that fallacy is? It was my answer to your question about the crystal ball
I think it's
divination
what
of
you
my
just call
thoughts on the
things when
matter.
you realise they disprove it. You just call it affirming the consequent or whatever. You just
No, I detail how it's affirming the consequent and then lay out the form of that fallacy.
That's retarded.
Laying out the form of a fallacy called affirming the consequent is retarded. No, it's just detailing a fallacy called affirming the consequent. Both sides of this discussion, globe and flat earth, wait for JLB's interruption, utilise this fallacy called affirming the consequent. It's really easy to find out what that is just by looking it up. I'm asking you, while you Google search it, if you know what that is. Yes or no? Second time
No,
I'll ask.
I don't know what it is. Explain it to me.
If P, then Q. Q, therefore P. If I eat 10 hamburgers, I am full. I am full, therefore I ate 10 hamburgers even though I've eaten a pizza. If I observe a 24-hour sun, then I've travelled antipodal. That's the affirming the consequent fallacy they're using. If I can assume that I've gone to the bottom of a ball, I'll observe a 24-hour sun rotation. Shock and awe, I observed a 24-hour sun rotation. Therefore, my antipodal assumption of a ball. That's affirming the consequent. If P, then Q. Q, therefore P. Both sides use it. Flat Earth side used it to affirm that Earth would be flat if they didn't see a 24-hour sun. Again, affirming the consequent on both sides. I didn't make any predictions, just to answer your question that you insisted I gave you a yes and no answer to 7 times.
Okay, you finish your explanation?
Did you have a little guess about it? So you didn't know how fallacious it was then, JLB? How stupid of you. You didn't recognise this fallacy you didn't know of until I told you. Maybe if you interrupt me pointing out your stupidity and ignorance of this fallacy that you said was retarded. No, JLB, you're retarded if you didn't know what this fallacy was. The one I've just broken down for you. You could just say thank you, or you could incessantly yammer through me. You didn't know what it was. Now you feel educated. You could just say thank you.
I don't know what it is. P's and Q's, how do they change that there's a sun down there now?
It's called an affirming the consequent formal logical fallacy, dum-dum. Look it up.
Well, it wasn't me who called you a retard. That was someone on the panel who said that. Some guy with an Aussie accent, I think. But yeah, so all these P's and Q's and eating pizzas and shit, how does that change?
No, you're being called a retard, it would seem, JLB, for not knowing what affirming the consequent was and using a crystal ball to divine people's thoughts. That made you look stupid, JLB.
But what are the P's and Q's and pizzas and people eating pizzas and being full? What does it have to do with the fact that there's a sun down there in Antarctica that stays up all night in December?
Oh,
What do all
don't
these
worry
P's and
about it,
Q's have to do with
JLB. I think this is a bit above your intellect level. You can only cope with yes and no answers about stuff, so I don't think I'll trouble you again with the explanation of the formal logical fallacy, known as affirming the consequent, because you wouldn't be able to comprehend it, JLB. You're just too slow. You didn't know what it was. You didn't recognise it was being used. Now you're asking
I
me to
still don't know what it
detail
is. Some guy
while
ate
you
pizza and
yammer
didn't eat
through the
P's and
top of me.
Q's.
You're not
Doesn't
even
make sense.
listening to me. How could I possibly educate you? You won't shut up.
Back to primary school.
Yeah, back to primary school with JLB, divining people's thoughts and yammering through responses is asked for. Maybe if you just talk straight through me explaining this fallacy you didn't know, JLB.
I still don't know the fallacy. You didn't explain it properly. You said there's P's and
Affirming
Q's
the
and some guy ate a
consequent.
pizza. How does that change if there's a midnight sun in Antarctica?
If P, then Q. If I assume... I'm slowing down because you're dumb, JLB. If I assume antipodal positioning, then I will observe 24 hours of rotation of the sun in Antarctica. I do observe 24 hours of sun in Antarctica, therefore I am correct in my antipodal assumption. If P, antipodal assumption, then Q, sun rotation. Sun rotation, Q, therefore P. That's called, for the 5th time, just for JLB, who's finally shut his dumb mouth, an affirming the consequent formal logical fallacy. You can say thank you for being educated by me now, JLB. It's a pleasure.
Are you finished, Mr. Oakley? May I ask a question?
What? Finished annihilating your ignorance? You didn't know this was the fallacy being used. You asked me to make a prediction based on guesswork and then started telling the panel what you thought they would think. That's incredibly stupid, John LeBon. Incredibly stupid. So take your crystal ball and bugger off back to your paying customers who like your guesswork. We don't do that here, as I already told you. We base what we declare on measurements, not on yammering through someone educating you and humiliating your stupid ass with your ignorance of this fallacy you didn't know about. You thought it was more pertinent to make a guess. That's very stupid. Why did you make a guess? Why did you make a guess instead of identifying the fallacy used? Oh, you didn't know what it was. Well, of course, you're ignorant.
What do the P's and Q's have to do with the Midnight Sun?
Go and learn. Why are you asking me to educate you on this fallacy you only found out about 5 minutes ago?
You said you would educate me.
Bugger off and learn, Mr. Ignorant. I'll talk through you. There's no chance I can educate you. You keep talking while I talk. That's what ignorant people do when they're humiliated, JLB. They yammer through the person educating their dumbass on this fallacy, exactly as you're doing now. You don't like being put in your place about your ignorance. Now I'm telling you what to do. Go and look up affirming the consequent. You toddle on, bugger off. Take your crystal ball with you. Mr. Rude, ignorant, go and learn these fallacies. Then you won't look stupid.
So what do the P's and Q's have to do with the Midnight Sun, though?
I just explained it to you. If antipodal positioning, then a 24-hour sun. 24-hour sun, therefore antipodal positioning. I've said it multiple times, dum-dum. Are you deaf?
Yeah, what does that have to do with the...
Stutter for me, you little bitch. What are you going to stutter for me? Stutter for me, bitch.
The robot needs a software update.
You need to go and look it up, John LeBon. You're dumb. You thought you'd come here and win by telling us what you thought we would think.
No,
Instead, whilst you yammer through me, making you look like a twat, you didn't know the fallacy being used, JLB. Yammering through me, humiliating you won't work here, John. It won't work. You didn't know what fallacy was being used. You thought it would be better to have a little guess, didn't you? Didn't you?
What do your P's and Q's have to do with the Midnight Sun?
Why are you asking me something? You thought it'd be better to have a little guess, didn't you?
24-hour sun doesn't prove the ground is curved. A 24-hour sun in Antarctica does not prove the ground is curved. That's how they're related.
To that Aussie dude, did you predict there'd be a Midnight Sun 6 months ago?
JLB needs to chase the chaff from the sidelines. Oh, you don't want to talk to me anymore, JLB? Did you not want to go and look up what affirming the consequent is? You'd rather chat with one of my panel members than me?
Did you try and explain it to Nathan here? Because he didn't think there would be one. He was saying there's no Midnight Sun.
He understands if you would listen.
Endless.
But you're incapable of listening.
Endless.
I'm listening to you right now. You're not making any sense.
Endless. Thanks, Endless. I didn't need any help. Thanks.
Well, he thought you did need help because he can say that you're flailing here. That's what you're getting angry.
You took that help, but you needed it, John. That's why you latched onto him, my friend.
I want some evidence.
You definitely needed that help. That's why you immediately started talking to him and ignoring me telling you to go and educate yourself about what an affirming the consequent fallacy is. Your response is to stutter and ask me what P's and Q's are for a, fifth time? Go and look them up, I've told you.
People eating pizzas? You mentioned people eating pizzas?
I did.
Somehow that has something to do with the shape of the Earth or the...
Yes, you're just too stupid to understand, even though it's been explained to you 5 times.
You haven't explained it once. What do your P's and Q's have to do with the Midnight Sun? You didn't think it would be there. You said it wouldn't be there.
Sorry, I didn't think it would be there. So do you want to quote me?
You
Are you just lying?
You've been exposed.
Sorry, I didn't think it would be there. Sorry, did you want to quote me, JLB, or are you just lying now? You're going to quote me?
But the thing has not got a future.
Are you going to quote me? You said I didn't think it would be there. That's what you just told me I said? Quote me.
Yeah, you didn't think there'd be a Midnight Sun. And that's why when I asked you earlier, you wouldn't answer the question. Because you're avoiding it.
So quote me. When did I say that?
Space.
What did I say?
The P and Q safe space.
Quote me. What did I say?
When?
When you say I said it?
10 years ago, when you didn't even have a channel about flat Earth. But somehow that's
sorry.
When you think
Do you feel aggrieved? Where did I say it? Where did you read it?
I saw a video on Will Duffy's channel of you saying that there is no Midnight Sun. Now, did you or did you not say that?
10 years ago, before looking into it, after
was less than 10
interviewing
years ago,
somebody.
Nathan. Please
I'm
stop
answering your
exaggerating,
question.
man.
Is it
It's
just
not
me
good
or
for
am I
us.
answering him? It's just me. Is he talking? Do you want to answer for me? Oh, sorry, John. I didn't realise your crystal ball had the answer already. Go ahead.
So you did say it. You thought there'd be no midnight sun in Antarctica. You didn't
I've got
believe that.
first-hand testimony.
Even though your Aussie friend over here
There's me trying to
educate
answer the
you,
second
listen to him.
attempt. Second
Probably
attempt.
you yelled at him too.
Second attempt to answer his question. He's just divining my answer that he asked for from his crystal ball. Sorry, John. I didn't mean to interrupt you with my answer there. You carry on.
Just as I was saying, you've got this Aussie dude on your panel who was trying to tell you that there would be a midnight sun. Why didn't you listen to him?
That was his guess, you idiot. You asked if he'd guess if there was. He said yes, he would.
Now there's an English
Nathan,
guy getting angry.
Why are you
Why are
talking?
you guys getting angry?
Leave
I'm
it
just
alone.
telling you.
You're an
This is JLB shtick, right? Get someone wound up? No, that's okay. I can make John look incredibly stupid by identifying the fallacy used in this midnight sun observation, and then asking him if he knows what the fallacy is, after detailing it quite explicitly with examples and detailing the fallacy use within the midnight sun observation. His response, what's P's and Q's got to do with the midnight sun? John's being embarrassed quite severely by me, so he needs help. The help is coming from the sidelines. He wants to talk to the peanut gallery, don't you, John?
Are you calling your own
Radio
panel the
check.
peanut gallery?
Yes.
I heard you calling the flat earthers numpties yesterday on your stream yesterday. You called
That's
the flat
correct.
earthers numpties.
Yes,
That was good.
yes. The ones who made predictions like you did were called numpties. Maybe you'd like to accuse me of making this prediction 10 years ago after interviewing a man who gave me first-hand testimony of not seeing it. Maybe that's unreasonable. But fair enough. I'll take that on
So
the
all
chin.
the flat earthers
I'll
are
take that
numpties
on the
except-
chin, no worries. Yeah, 10 years ago, after hearing first-hand testimony of it not being the case, I made the declaration. I'm so sorry. I mean, since then, I've done quite a considerable amount of research, and indeed spoken to you since then. But obviously, you feel aggrieved at that comment I left on a Facebook post about a video detailing what happens in Antarctica. My bad. Meanwhile, since doing quite a considerable amount of research, about 10
Facebook?
years
I don't
worth,
think-
I mean, maybe we could focus on John's interruptions here as I detail the answer to his question he's asked multiple times about the 10-year-old comment I made before doing any research, or whether or not it's 10 years or not. Right, John? 10 years it's taken you to not learn this fallacy. I learnt it after 10 years. How come you're still
You still haven't
ignorant and
explained it
stupid,
properly. I bet you
JLB?
most of your panel...
Is it just your questions and then your yammerings when you get asked something there, JLB? It's only you that's allowed to ask questions, right? If I ask you anything about your ignorance of these fallacies being used, you'll just yammer straight through the top of me, right?
Can you just pick one of your panel here and see if one of them can explain this P and Q fat man pizza fallacy? See if
Can
they
you
do it.
explain it? Did you understand what affirming the consequence
Here's what I
was? Have
think
you
you
looked
said.
it up?
Let me see if I remember this properly. So if P then Q, if Q then not necessarily P. Is that what you're trying to say to me?
No. I explained it at least 4 times, and you still haven't understood it, demonstrating that you can't even listen
trying my
to
best
me.
here, man, but you're
and
yelling
now,
at me.
while
You're
I'm
being very
explaining to
emotional,
him
trying
that
to
he can't
understand
listen
what the
to
P's
me,
and
it would
Q's and
seem
fat
that
men
John
have to do with the
LeBon,
midnight sun in
completely
Antarctica.
triggered, is talking straight through the top of me, explaining that he's too dumb to listen to the same thing being explained to him on multiple occasions, right here,
Well, it's gobbledygook,
right
man.
now.
I'm trying my
He's
best,
still
man. I'm
talking,
trying
I
my
haven't
best.
taken breath yet, but maybe if he talks through me pointing out the embarrassing truth that he's had it explained to him in the last 10 minutes 4 times, it won't matter that he still didn't hear it and couldn't understand it, even if I explained it to him. If I reiterate that I've told you to bugger off and learn it because I've attempted to explain it to you and explain that you're too stupid to understand it in the face of someone explaining it multiple times, I'm just being proven right, John. Even after explaining
your
it to you with
explanations aren't so good.
examples, you're still seeming to feel the need to interrupt me like it's going to make you look any less stupid and ignorant of this fallacy that's been explained to you multiple times, and you still can't even repeat.
Well, we can test how good your teachings are. See if one of your panel can explain it without you helping them.
Okay, no worries. Who from my panel wants to have a bash?
I'll have a bash.
Go ahead, QE.
Hey, JLB. You got to have a JLB if you want to be with me, you clown. Hey, a star's still spinning in opposite directions, you freaking dumbass cracker. There's
Get
my
back to the P's and Q's,
explanation.
bro. Can you explain Nathan's P and Q fat man
There's my
pizza fallacy?
explanation to
I'm
you,
looking forward to
dumbass.
this.
Piss off.
I'll try.
He didn't do a very
if
good job there. Was that your best candidate? That was not a very good
No, no,
attempt. Next.
No, what he actually did.
Come
but
on,
he didn't
explain the
pick-
P and Q fat man fallacy. Come on.
What he actually did was point out where you've used that fallacy there, JLB, but you didn't pick up on the subtlety. You're too dumb to realise he exampled where you'd used it, but you're too stupid to realise that, aren't you, John Le Bon?
Well, he asked you to...
Stutter for me there, John Le Bon. That's right. You used that fallacy, John Le Bon, and he detailed where you'd used it. Did you not pick up on that subtlety there, stupid?
But he didn't explain it, though. He can't explain it.
No, he just detailed where you'd used it and then told you you're a numpty and sang about you with a little song mocking you. That's right. You didn't pick up on it because you don't know what this fallacy is. You're too dumb.
Can any of your panel explain it, actually? Like, just explain it without getting angry and yelling and shouting and carrying on?
Why? So you can talk straight... Maybe if they do... Maybe as they do, you can talk straight through the middle of them so you don't sound so stupid. Maybe that'll work this time.
I'm happy to sit here on mute. Just can one of these panel members who listen to you day and day
you don't have to do that. I'm really enjoying listening to you stuttering like a complete clown, John Le Bon. Like when you stuttered for me, I laughed at you for how stupid you were and how ignorant you declared yourself to be when it came to this fallacy you don't understand. You thought you would be more...
None of your panel understands
Maybe
either.
talking through me will make you win, John Le Bon, make you seem less stupid. No, you thought it would be appropriate to have a little guess, didn't you, John? Correct? Yeah, I already know you've confirmed.
So none of your panel can actually explain this piece.
You thought it'd be appropriate to have a little guess there, didn't you, dum-dum?
The only one here who can do this with the P's and the Q's and a fat man eating a pizza, the only one here who can do that is Nathan Oakley.
Really?
The rest of you just sit here and let him yell at people. Is anyone going to step up to the plate? Explain to me how your P's and Q's have anything to do with the Midnight Sun.
That's the only answer you're going to get.
Then Libon, tomorrow, when you hear the roosters making the noise, that means the sun will come out. If roosters don't do the sound, the sun will not come out. Okay?
Don't waste your time with him. He's a moron.
So the Midnight Sun in Antarctica has something to do with a rooster now. So we've got fat men, pizzas, and roosters. This is good.
No.
See, that's what I'm saying. He's a waste of time, Nathan.
No. Let me... He's had it explained. He doesn't get it still. Hold on, Sasha. Thank you, Sasha. No, what it's explaining to you
Thank you, Sasha.
It's a consequent relationship that isn't necessarily appropriate. So if you say, because every time the rooster cries, the sun comes up, you can say that it's because the rooster cries that the sun comes up in an affirming the consequent fallacy. He's explained it to you with an example. Now, by the same example, they're saying, if I assume I go to the bottom of a ball, then I'll see 24 hours of sun. And I do see 24 hours of sun, therefore I'm on the bottom of a ball. That's how it works.
What does that have to do with me, though? I just asked you, is there a midnight sun in Antarctica? And would you have guessed there would be one? That's all I asked when I first came here.
Okay.
All right.
I hope he's a baller.
Yeah, he bases it on north, south, and south, north.
Leave him, Nathan, with that enigma, and he will have pain in his life. Leave him with that question in his life. Do you understand?
Can I ask you something?
Don't answer him this question ever.
This same fallacy has been committed by you, right? JLB, are you aware of that now? You've had the detailed explanation from several people.
Yeah, the P's and the Q's and the roosters crowing at the sun. Yeah, I get it. You know, I've been exposing the space fakery, like outer space as a hoax, since some of these people were in nappies.
Quick change the subject. You've used this fallacy, JLB. Let's try it a second time. Maybe we could talk about space for a bit. You have used this fallacy with star rotation, JLB. Were you
just because you call it
aware?
A fallacy doesn't mean that it's a fallacy, Nathan. Okay?
Oh, does it not?
It doesn't work that way.
Oh,
I could just say that you're a fallacy. You're the Oakley fallacy. Here's Kim an Oakley fallacy. Okay, that doesn't mean it's true. You understand? You're just calling it something.
No,
using
that's
a bunch
just
of
you
words
making
to
stuff
distract
up.
people from the fact there's a midnight sun that you didn't think would be there. It's a distraction.
There's no Oakley fallacy.
That's what you might call a red herring.
You're just making stuff
up. The
up.
red herring fallacy.
When you're done. No, you've just made that up. There is no Oakley
red herring fallacy.
I'll wait till you're all tuckered out there, stuttery. Let me know when you're done there, stuttery.
The fallacy. There's a whole bunch of it's fallacies all the way down, bro. But it doesn't change the fact that there's a midnight sun in Antarctica that you didn't think would be there.
What's
I didn't think he's done it again. I didn't think it would be there. What, 10 years ago before doing any research?
Well, you're going back to the 10 years thing again. Are you intentionally gaslighting your own panel just to see if they won't call you out? It was less than 10 years, Nathan. Come on.
You're a dumbass. Shut up.
So you've used that fallacy. It's the third time I've put this to you. See if he talks through the end of the statement the third time. You've used this example with star rotation, affirming the consequent, JLB. Were you aware of your fallacious reasoning in this regard?
No, you're using a fallacy. It's a red herring fallacy.
No, you're using a fallacy.
There's a midnight sun in Antarctica. Why can't you just focus on that? There's a midnight sun in Antarctica, and there's no flat Earth map or model that can possibly explain that, which is why you guys are all denying it for so long.
Right, all maps are flat.
And Will Dovey has exposed every one of you. Will Dovey has exposed every single one of you. And you know
guys
it.
in G+, don't let him trigger you. It's all good. So you said...
Hey, I'm not triggered. He's a little moron.
You are triggered, but that's just your natural state of being. It's okay. I don't take it personally.
Model, John LeBon? I can talk just as fast as you, John LeBon. Are there stars spinning in opposite directions still?
Like, you were here to tell us about what we'd stated based on your crystal ball divination of our thoughts. These are things you've actually said, JLB. Would you like to address them or maybe just chant through us?
Well, what I did was when I first got here, I asked you, would you have expected there to be a midnight sun in Antarctica? I asked you and you wouldn't answer it. We both know why.
I did answer it. Just JLB's decided to lie. I explained that I break down the affirming the consequent fallacy in the form of a false dichotomy for flat earthers and globers. I gave him a very concise answer. Now he's just lying, saying I didn't want to answer or didn't answer. I absolutely, without question, answered. JLB didn't know what to do with the answer. He could only cope with a yes or no answer. So based on the fact he didn't get what he wanted because he's dumb and can only cope with what he expects to get, he says I don't answer. Yeah, I did, JLB. I explained the fallacy. You don't understand it. Now you're being grilled on your use of it. So fourth time's a charm. You've used this fallacy. QE's asking you about your use of this fallacy you were unaware of till about 10 minutes ago when I educated you on it. Not successfully. You kept talking like you're doing now. You kept talking through the explanation of it like you're doing now. Triggered. Very triggered. Typical JLB style triggered. Thinks that talking through someone humiliating him about his ignorance of the fallacies being used after divining people's thoughts and having little guesses. Now we're on to your statements you've actually made, JLB. Recently. Not 10 years ago. Recently. Your use of this fallacy. Were you aware of your use of this fallacy that you just learned about 10 minutes ago or not? Because we're more than happy to educate you on your use of this fallacy. We've tried many times previous. Maybe you're familiar with being asked about star rotations in opposite directions. Sound familiar? These are words you've actually said, claims you've made, JLB.
I didn't mention the stars today.
Oh, sorry, you mentioned it 9.3 years ago. Sorry, everything within the last 10 years is on the table, JLB. Everything within the last 10 years. You definitely said it within a 10-year window, so it's on the table.
What did I say?
There's opposite star directions in North and South Hemisphere.
Were those my exact words?
Yeah.
No, they weren't. You know that. Come on, man. Don't do the straw man thing. You're better than that. Let's get back to you.
So did you give me my exact words when you divine my thoughts by way of crystal ball? Did I not just ask him 5 minutes ago to quote me, and he didn't? Oh, it's perfectly reasonable that you demand a quote now, JLB. No, you did say that, JLB. Absolutely. It was verbatim. That's your verbatim words. I'll just make up shit that you said verbatim and then demand that you justify your logical fallacy use. Everybody here knows that you've claimed North and South Hemisphere, star rotation opposite directions. That's the basis of your claim, regardless if it's a verbatim quote that you demanded of me, in spite of not giving me any
what you just
quotes.
Said, I agree with. Well, what you just said there, the general gist of it, I agree with, yeah. If you do like a long
it's fallacious. Dumb shit.
Photography of
well, that makes you stupid.
And where you are in the world.
Well, that makes you dumb. Are you deaf or are you going to keep talking? Yeah, it's reasonable to you because you're stupid and you don't understand fallacies. Stupid man. It's a fallacy.
Which way do you think the stars appear to rotate?
Right, Dumbo, you're using fallacy. Why are you asking me something? Have you got no humility when you're wrong and using fallacious reasoning that you've only just learned about? Come on, John, there's almost 200 people here. Do you really want to seem like a complete moron who doesn't understand the claims you make? Dum-dum. Antipodal assumptions by way of hemispherical claims. Hemisphere assumes a globe, John. So if a globe by hemispheric assumption, that's fallacious, John.
So what word would you prefer instead of hemisphere? What would you prefer?
Sorry, I'm not making that dumb fuck claim that you made and are now being made to look stupid
so you don't
with.
Actually have a better...
That's not my claim, Mr. I'll reverse the burden of proof. Do you think two fallacies makes a right? Flipping the burden won't help you here, dum-dum. You made that claim, son. That fallacious shite that dribbled out of your mouth. That stupid nonsense you spewed fallaciously. No, I didn't make any claims. You did. You said hemisphere. It's fallacious. It's assuming you're out. Maybe if you talk straight through the middle of me, it will make your fallacious reasoning go away, John. Maybe. Keep talking while I'm talking there. It'll make you win and look less stupid.
So hemisphere is taboo. We can't use that word. What word would you prefer?
No, it's a begging the question fallacy. It's assuming sphericity in the first instance. Do you understand circular reasoning?
So what region is Australia?
Do you understand circular reasoning? Maybe a different change of subject is needed in this instance. It's called circular reasoning when you say hemisphere. You asked, I'm answering. Maybe be non-responsive 5 times.
Not to use that word
Maybe chant through me 5 times so you don't have to respond to circular reasoning, another fallacy. Begging the question. Do you know what that is, John LeBon?
So you don't like the word hemisphere?
It's not about what I like. We don't discuss feelings here either, JLB. Your crystal ball and your feelings can be left at home. Do you understand circular reasoning? I've asked you 4 times.
Again, if Southern Hemisphere is not okay around
it's begging the question.
Yeah, you've got your
it's begging the question. It's begging the question. Do you know what that is, dum-dum? It's begging the question, Dumbo. Do you know what circular reasoning is or not? Do I have to ask you 10 times? It's 6 so far. Circular reasoning. Do you know what it is?
No, explain it to me.
Assuming your outcome. Like if you want to prove you're on a ball, assuming you've got hemispheres. The kind of dumb shit fallacious reasoning morons like JLB utilise to assume that we've got hemispheres when you're trying to prove hemispheres. It's called circular reasoning, aka the fallacy of begging the question.
Okay, great. So instead of the word hemisphere...
No, it's not great, you stupid idiot. It's fallacious. Why would you think that's great, you utter moron? Do you think fallacious reasoning is great? You dumb shit. Do you think fallacious reasoning, the fallacious reasoning you use with hemispheric assumptions, aka circular reasoning, do you think they're great, John LeBon? You dumb shit.
Well, I'm asking you, Southern Hemisphere is...
Do you think they're great? Those circular reasoning assumptions of hemispheres, are they great? That was your response to me.
No, you're misrepresenting what I said.
No, they're not great. They're fallacious. No, I asked you if you understood what fallacious reasoning is in the form of circular reasoning. When explained how you'd used it, your reply was to tell me it was great. No, it's not great, Mr. Interruptee. It's not great, Mr. Interruptee. Interrupting won't change how stupid you've just been made to look. It's circular reasoning. It's not great.
Where's Australia, man?
It's stupid. You have used circular reasoning with hemispheres. Maybe chanting through me. I'll just go through it until you stop. I don't mind doing this all day, John LeBon. You can chant through me all you like. Funnily enough, I've spent 10 years dealing with people chanting through me. Oh, my bad. 9.35 years. In that time, John's used quite a few fallacies, though, one of which is circular reasoning, assuming hemispheres. Very stupid. Not great. So far, his response is to chant through me for the 7th time? 7 times a charm, right, JLB?
You keep attacking me for using the word Southern Hemisphere. What term do you use? Where's Australia?
I don't. You do. You use that term fallaciously. It's circular reasoning, you dumb shit.
So where's Australia?
Why are you asking me a question? Do you understand that you've used circular reasoning? That's fallacious. Like a dumb. You don't seem to want to acknowledge it. You want to try and deflect by asking me a question and chanting through me. Chanting through me won't change how dumb you're being made to look, JLB. Doesn't matter how much you chant through me, asking you if you understand the fallacious reasoning, you, not me. Don't ask me what I'd call hemispheres. I didn't. You did.
But you're using the fallacy, which is fallacious. So I'm just asking you, where is Australia? If it's not in the Southern Hemisphere.
No, throwing out the fallacy is not what I'm doing. I'm detailing your fallacy. I haven't done anything. I didn't claim hemispheres. That's your claim. Why are you telling me that I'm using the fallacy when you are the... Maybe chant through me. 8th attempt. Maybe this little smoke screen. What was the word that JLB likes to use when this happens to him? Filibuster. Keep filibustering me there, JLB. I didn't make any claim to be utilising the fallacy. You claimed hemispheres.
You're using the fallacy.
Maybe filibuster the 9th time. I didn't make a claim to have been using the fallacy. It's my third attempt to point this
I'm
out.
telling
That's
you
his
using the
rebuttal.
fallacy.
Third attempt to point out I haven't used the fallacy when he says hemispheres. But maybe if he keeps filibustering, he'll look less stupid, right, JLB? 200 people watching you humiliate yourself. Keep filibustering.
It's hard to know when to speak because you'll pause for a second, then I go to speak, and then you'll start speaking again, and you get very angry. I'm not trying to make you angry, man. I'm trying to... Let's have a civil conversation here.
Okay, that's completely non-responsive. So I've pointed out to JLB that he's accused me of using the fallacy. And upon pointing out that, like, this is the 4th time he's chanted through me. It seems like he's just levelled at my door that whenever he's talking, he doesn't know that he should be because I am, and then he's interrupting me. Now, this is also a subversion technique, because I'll try again for the 5th time. He's laid an accusation of use of fallacy at my door. I've addressed it by pointing out I didn't claim anything when I said hemispheres. I didn't say it. He did. But yet, what? When you, JLB, said hemispheres, that's circular reasoning, the thing I'm trying to get him to concede. But he keeps filibustering and flipping the burden. Another fallacy he obviously wouldn't understand. He's dumb. It's because he's flipped the burden and said I've used the fallacy. What, when I claimed hemispheres? I didn't, you did. Maybe we could move on from your filibustering and ignorance of what you've levelled at my door. Maybe you can apologise for claiming I use fallacy when we're detailing your fallacious claims of hemispheres. I ain't claiming Jackson.
Do you know what the fallacy is?
I ain't claiming Jackson. Your 8th attempt to filibuster me won't work.
But do you know what the fallacy is?
I ain't finished there, JLB, and your audience will hear you filibustering me, you bleeding coward. No, JLB, I haven't used the fallacy. It's the 9th attempt. 9th attempt. I haven't used that fallacy. We were detailing your use of fallacy, son. Let's not flip the burden. 10th attempt. 10th attempt with this filibustering coward called JLB. 10.
You don't know what the fallacy is, do you?
I haven't used any fallacies because it's your claim of hemispheres, not mine. Cat, got your tongue? It's your turn to talk. I didn't use any fallacies when claiming hemispheres.
Do you know what the fallacy is? I don't want to filibuster you, so tell me, what is the fallacy?
Why, when I'm detailing your use of circular reasoning and you've not acknowledged a single smegging word of it, you seem to feel appropriate to ask me questions about a claim, a fallacy, when we're detailing your use of circular reasoning in the hemispheric assumption. You make the same dumb, stupid assumption and fallacy used in the final experiment. That's why we're talking about it.
Well, it wasn't really an experiment, it's an observation for a start.
Yeah, but meanwhile, it's fallacious, and you've used the same fallacy, circular reasoning with hemispheres.
Doesn't change the fact that you don't know what the fallacy is, which I'm kind of...
We're not detailing that, though. We're detailing circular reason. Nobody's used the fallacy in TFE, and that's the discussion on the table.
So you don't know what the fallacy is?
So maybe if you keep asking about the fallacy when you're claiming hemispheres, as are the participants of TFE.
Clown.
Yeah, clown. JLB's
so you don't
embarrassing.
Know what the
this is just him filibustering, by the way. He's non-responsive to everything I've put to him thus far. He hasn't responded to a single thing I put to him thus far. He thinks by asking me questions he's going to regain control of this discussion. Wrong. I'll just keep embarrassing you for your stupidity, man. Fallacy. I haven't claimed anything. I wasn't claiming anything. It's not my final experiment. I didn't make any claims in spite of your divinations in a crystal ball. You had a little guess, though, didn't you, JLB? You had a little guess.
Well, if you said to me 6 months ago, can you guess what's the P to the Q fat man fallacy? I could have guessed. I've probably been wrong. It sounds very...
No, I didn't ask that to anybody, though, did I?
Pizzas and shit.
I didn't ask that.
But the fallacy...
Maybe you could make up shit that I haven't asked a soul and make out like I've asked somebody something. I haven't. You came here and asked us. We answered you and you avoided every response and pretended, nay, lied, about me not answering your questions. I absolutely answered your question, liar. I pointed out the fallacy that's used, liar. Then I pointed out how you use that fallacy, and somehow we're, what, in deserving reward of an answer about the fallacy? Nobody's using that. Affirming the consequent, mate. Something you didn't know till about 20 minutes ago.
I still don't know what it is. P's and Q's and fat men. Will you
go and learn.
Look
it up.
Did they think there'd be a midnight sun?
Look it up. And then you won't fall victim to it again, and you won't have me justifiably calling you dumb for using it. You use that fallacy, dum-dum. Hemispheres? Ask me what I should call them when you're claiming them again, dum-dum.
You can't tell me where Australia is.
I'm not telling you, Jack.
I'm happy
you're telling us hemispheres, dum-dum. Flipping of the burden. That's another fallacy that JLB needs to employ. He's tried it 4 times so far. He needs me to be making a claim. Unfortunately, JLB, you're a dumb shit like all the people at TFE because you used the same fallacy they did. Maybe we'll get to that eventually.
Space, bro. Come on now. That's a low blow calling me the same. But they believe in outer space, man. Come on.
So you affirm the consequent with hemispheric assumptions just like they did, you dumb shit. You are absolutely no different to them. You made a little guess, and you affirm the consequent with hemispheric assumptions. You are absolutely, without question,
I would
just
never
as
call you
stupid
an
as
outer
them.
space believer. That's a low blow, man. That's like throwing sand in the eyes. Come on now. I don't believe in outer space. Goodness gracious me.
No, I leveled you being the same as them based on your use of the affirming the consequent formal logical fallacy used on both sides of the fallacies used by flatties and globies in TFE. You've used that too.
Hold on, what have I done this time? What's the current accusation?
7th time.
What did I do?
Used the fallacy with hemispheres. It's been explained to you multiple times. The response I've got each time is to ask why I'm using the fallacy when pointing out your use of affirming the consequent formal logical fallacies.
Yeah, I get you, but if you're not using the word hemisphere, what word do you use to describe where Australia is?
You used it fallaciously, you dumb shit. Do you really need to try and flip the burden for the 6th time?
I'm retracting the use of the word.
Maybe if you chant through me. Is this you filibustering again there, JLB? Filibuster much? Keep filibustering.
I can see the point you're making. If I
For JLB's audience, when he trims this out, this is JLB's filibustering when he's absolutely screwed and using poor logic. He can just chant through anybody pointing it out, and somehow he thinks he's going to win.
Give me a better word. Outer disc. Australia's in the
Okay, I'll give you a better word.
Just give me a better word.
Dum-dum, thicko, moron. Those are better words. They describe you when using that fallacy.
Well, that's better than calling me an outer space believer, so at least we're getting somewhere here.
No, I'm calling you a complete moron. I'm calling you a complete idiot. Like, totally stupid because you've used that fallacy. The same as TFE did. You're the same as them. You've used the same fallacy. You're just as stupid as them, John LeBon. You used the same fallacy.
Oh, come on now. Again, that's an unfair comparison. They believe in outer space.
It's a reasonable one because it's the same. You've used the same fallacy. 2nd time's a charm. How many times do I need to tell you? You're the same because you use the same
which
fallacy.
Which fallacy this time? You've accused me. You're doing the fallacy thing. You accuse me of all these fallacies. Which one am I guilty of this time?
Attempt at a burden of proof reversal fallacy by JLB. Epic.
I'm not asking for proof. I'm asking what word do you use to describe where Australia is? If it's not the southern hemisphere,
did I make a claim about it?
Well, you said I can't use the word.
Did I make a claim about it? Yes or no? Did I make a claim about it?
I'm happy to use whatever nomenclature you guys.
So is this a straw man? Do you know what a straw man is? Did I make a claim about it? Yes or no?
About what?
You asked me about Australia and how it would be described. My answer: did I make a claim about it, or is this a straw man fallacy?
Well, you're attacking me for saying southern hemisphere.
So did I make a claim about it? It's only the 4th time asking.
Well, your claim is that you can't call.
So did I make a claim about it or not?
Give me a replacement.
It's a yes or no. Like you insisted on having it's a yes or no there, JLB. Did I make a claim about it?
Well, the claim I do know that you.
Is that a no? Is that a no? Is that a no? I didn't. It's a straw man. Didn't
gaslight your audience.
Is that a no?
You never said it, but you did.
Oh, sorry, I did say it. Quote me. What claim did I make about Australia? Quote me.
I can go and find Will Duffy.
You could? Oh, that would be an appeal to the future fallacy.
Can we do this?
Is it an appeal to the future fallacy where you could go and get your evidence?
If I go and get the footage of your...
You could go and get it, but that would be an appeal to the future fallacy, wouldn't it now?
What a dumbass.
What a dumb fuck. So that would be the 7th use of fallacy by John LeBon on this show alone. Appeal to the future fallacy.
How about we play the footage?
Are you listening, Dumbo? Are you listening? Maybe if you talk through me. That's an appeal to the future fallacy, John LeBon. Dum-dum. You keep using fallacy. Why are you so stupid?
The future? No, this is something you said in the past, bro. And there's footage. Will Duffy found the footage.
You will go and get it in the future is an appeal to the fallacy of appealing to the future. You could go and get it. What, in the past, with your DeLorean? No, you could go and get it in the future, couldn't you? The quote that you haven't got to back. Your straw man that you can't back. Because when I ask you to demonstrate that I've said something about Australia's positioning, I haven't. It's a straw man fallacy. So what do you defend your straw man fallacy with? An appeal to the future fallacy, where you could go and get my quote in the future.
I can do it right now.
What? Right now, you can get a quote of me detailing a claim about Australia's
Yeah, we can play the
positioning.
video footage of you.
I'm just detailing what you'll be getting there with your appeal to the future, because we're now moving on from when you said it, aka we're now in that future that you appealed to. So I'll be making a claim about where Australia's positioned. Will I?
Why are you trying to change the subject?
Because that's what you specifically strawmanned me with when you asked me about Australia's positioning, and I asked you if I'd made a claim about it.
Have you been gaslighting your audience?
So is this gaslighting a non-responsive rebuttal to the fact you've strawmanned me with Australia's positioning when I'm not making a claim about it? Is that me gaslighting my audience when I point out a strawman fallacy? I haven't made a claim about it. You could do it right now. Okay, right now. What did I claim about Australia's positioning? Go, lest you be a liar.
I'm not talking about Australia's position. I'm talking about...
Oh, so when you asked me specifically about Australia's positioning and then said you'd got quotes about me detailing it, and it wouldn't obviously be a straw man.
Straight from the horse's
That's
mouth.
you not saying it. I see. No, John Le Bon's just using fallacy after fallacy after fallacy. It's a
So
straw
can we
man.
play the footage of what you said about the Midnight Sun? Or is that
No,
against
no,
the
no,
rule?
no. You asked me about Australia's positioning.
Yep.
So you're a liar.
Where's Australia?
Do you need to lie about what you specifically asked me about and what I asked you to give me a quote about what I was claiming about it? Because you asked me about Australia.
Well, where's Australia if it's not...
Is it just me, or is he just chanting through me, pointing out what a fucking liar he is? No, JLB, you specifically asked me about Australia's position, and I asked you if I'd made a claim about it. And when I haven't, it becomes a straw man fallacy. Yet another fallacy that you're using there, John Le Bon.
He's not responded to anything you've said since I've been listening. It's just this really monotone. Come on. Where's the ice cream truck? I'm very annoyed.
Please, QE, stop. Go ahead, Eli.
Also, can you let me in G+?
Yeah, sure. But go ahead, then join.
Next time, get here on time, Eli.
That's it. All we've had is fallacy after fallacy after fallacy. And every time I point out John Le Bon's use of fallacy, he tries to flip the burden.
It's
Well, it's because you're
scary
using the
that he's
fallacy,
still thinks.
which you can't explain what that is. So I don't think you know what the fallacy is. So we're
Shut
at
up,
an
John
impasse
Le Bon.
here.
Neil can't shut up now. No. When
Well,
you,
QE trying to say-
anti-FE, make a claim about antipodal positioning for a globe claim, that is not me making any claim. That's the discussion point of the table. Unfortunately, John, you fell foul to the same fallacy. So now you're trying to flip the burden like me. I didn't make any claims about this. This is not my TFE. I made any claims about it. I pointed out the fallacies that he used. You use them too. It's not fallacy. Anything
So
else?
has your audience seen the footage of you saying there's no Midnight Sun or not? Because if you
10
want to
years
keep that
ago.
secret, I don't have to
Yeah,
tell them.
yeah,
We can-
10
we can
years
keep it
ago.
between you and
Yeah,
me if you like.
10 years ago, before actually looking into the subject at all. Maybe not. Maybe we should focus on how many years it is. Not 10 years, 9.35 years. Sorry. Yeah. Then I looked into it. You,
It's
in
a
much more
housekeeping
recent
question.
times...
Well, it only took an hour, but at least you're finally admitting you were wrong about something. So we're making progress here. That's
Okay.
good.
Excellent. Let's see if you can make any progress, John Le Bon. Will you concede your use of fallacy in the affirming the consequent with hemispheric assumptions that you made when noticing that stars move in, quote, opposite directions? Do you concede that you
Well, yes, because I used the word hemisphere, and as you
maybe we won't
explained
get
to
any
me, and this was a
concessions
couple
out of
of years
JLB.
ago.
I won't get
Hey,
to
I'm
put
trying to
anything
agree
to
with you
him.
about
Maybe
something.
his filibustering will
agree
mean
with
he
you about
doesn't have to have an ounce of humility as he filibusters the question he won't concede
Well,
to.
I'm being humble here. I'm
Progress.
telling you that my chat with you guys a few years ago, where one of you got angry and said, that's assuming, like when you use the word hemisphere, you're assuming you're on a ball. I was like, okay, that's a fair point. So I'm trying to avoid the use of the word hemisphere, but you won't give me a better word to use. So
I
we're at an
see.
impasse here.
That's flipping the burden of
Can I
proof.
ask a question now?
Flipping.
Can I
I don't
ask
need
you a
help.
question now?
No, I don't need help. No, that's flipping the
Not
burden.
help
I think you
I
do
don't
help,
need any.
Nathan. You
Whoever
do
that
help.
is
Your panel's
causing
trying to help you.
audio
Let them help you.
chaos, it's not welcome. It's not welcome. No, thank you.
They're trying to help you, Nathan. Let your friends help you. They can see that you're in trouble here. Let them help you.
What am I in trouble with, JLB?
You're in trouble with the problem that you've got this midnight sun in Antarctica that you wouldn't have predicted 12 months ago because in your framework there was no midnight sun, which is why you said that. Now that's been exposed as untrue by Will Duffy and his final observation. It's not an experiment, but it's an observation. And now the whole flat earth belief system is in a lot of trouble right now.
I'd
That's
already.
the reality.
Sorry,
I'm trying to help you guys.
Can you guys hear me talking?
We want a little piece of this numpty.
Unfortunately, JLB, right, I'm going to be unable to communicate with you because too many people want blood, given how many fallacies you've used. Who wants blood?
I do.
You went
Well, I'm
first.
happy to chat with QE. It's too early for him to be drunk yet, so hopefully we can still have a nice civil conversation.
Drunk? You little ad hom little piece of shit. You think that that's going to work for you?
Go on, say what you want to say. I'm here. I'm listening.
Drunk, your little sister with Australia. That's your
Excuse me, JLB. Don't you misidentify him. There's only one drunk round here, and that's me. I'm only giving that up to QE.
Well, to be fair, it's about 4 p.m. where you live, bro, so you've got an excuse, but QE's in America, so he better not be on the bottle yet. That'd be sad.
Anyway, guys,
listen to
sorry.
this
Let's
little
get back
weed.
on track. Let's
Guys.
move past JLB's drunken projection. How is the drinking going, by the way, JLB?
Today I'm 12 days sober. Thank you, Nathan, for asking. 12 days stone cold sober, and that's how I ended up here on
No
this
worries.
chat.
If
I've got lots
possible,
of time on my hands.
if possible, can you not project your alcoholism onto QE? Is that possible? Thank you.
Well, he's an alcoholic, though. That's
No, you're an
we're on the same page with
alcoholic.
that, right?
Can you not project your
Yes, I am.
alcoholism,
I
Mr.
am.
12 days
I am. I
sober?
admit it.
12 days sober, yeah. We know
I'm
you're an
12 days
alcoholic.
sober.
It's okay.
It's a
You don't need
pretty
to project
advanced
that.
form of alcoholism
It's
I'm
okay,
dealing with, I have to tell
JLB.
you.
Just chill. Take a chill pill, Mr. Alcoholic. We know you're 12 days sober. Well done. I'll give you a little sticker for your 12 days of
No, I
sobriety.
appreciate that. Thank you,
Well
man.
done.
Thank you.
Don't project it
I
onto
live in a pretty
QE
boring
just because
town,
you're an
dude,
alcoholic.
so it's tempting
No
to get on the
need.
drink.
This is the 5-year-old stuff I'm talking about. Like every time somebody tries it, now we're talking about alcohol. I don't even see him as a person who knows what alcohol tastes like. The dude is aware like 100% of the time.
They're coming out of the woodwork.
So QE.
Hey, Mr. Ad hom fallacy.
QE.
You know what's really scary?
Look how angry he gets, man. This guy gets so mad and he starts yelling.
Hey, friggin' diarrhea to mouth. Mr. Star rotation in different directions.
See what I'm talking about?
You still believe that? After we rubbed your nose in it, you still think the star's spinning opposite directions, you numpty dipshit.
Did you think there'd be a midnight sun, bro? Like, say, 6 months ago
Oh
in
my
Antarctica?
God. I will go over that one next. Do you understand what the implication of your star rotation claim? Let's go over this again. Then in one of your hemispheres, if the stars are spinning in opposite directions, because all the stars...
I don't use the word
sun and
hemisphere
moon,
anymore. I retract that.
Shut
I retract
up.
the word hemisphere.
All the stars, sun
No, I've already
and
conceded
moon,
that point. You were
stay
right.
for
I shouldn't use the word
Polaris,
hemisphere.
move
I've already
from
conceded that point.
east
So why are you
to
going over
west.
it again?
He will not let it go. He won't let it, right? You little friggin' punk, you dumbass. With the implication of your claim in one of your hemispheres, the sun
I
is
retract the claim.
rising in the
I
west.
don't believe in
and
hemispheres
setting in-
anymore.
Rising in the west and setting in the east, you retard. No fallacy. You're just a retard. Yeah? You understand
Okay,
that?
that's great, but where's Australia? If it's not in the southern hemisphere. I'm still waiting for you to explain it to me.
Where's Australia?
He's not listening. He's incapable of listening.
That's all.
The opposite directions bit is the bit you're being asked. Do you still believe opposite directions?
What do you mean opposite directions?
Like your claim, the one you put to us.
Well, I can go forwards, I can go backwards. Like, there are directions. You agree with that at least, right?
The star
Or is
rotations.
that a direction fallacy?
Star rotations. My God, I can't believe I'm
Well, the
asking.
stars don't rotate, but if you use long time photography, they appear to move, but it's just an apparent movement. It doesn't
Hey,
mean the stars are actually
moron.
moving. You do know that,
Forward
right?
and backward are not objective directions, you clown. My God, you stupid.
Well, a circle can appear to go clockwise or anti-clockwise, or is that also a fallacy? Is that the clockwise fallacy?
John, hey, JLB, where is the sun
Yeah, man.
rising in the west and setting in the east, sunshine?
Where?
Yeah.
Well, when I wake up in the morning, the sun is in the western direction, right? Or is that also a fallacy?
We're trying to tie down your claim that it moves in opposite directions, depending on hemispheres that you now relinquish because you were wrong.
I don't want to use the word hemisphere anymore because I can see that's verboten around here, but I'm just looking for a better word. I've asked you like 20 times and you won't give me a better
Yeah, I
word
get
than the
that.
hemisphere.
Oh,
So where is
Just
Australia?
asked you
Got
where
that.
the sun rises in the west and sets in the east, John LeBon.
Opposite directions, right?
Well, is west a real thing or is that also a hoax? Like, is that a
I'm just
fallacy?
trying to tie down your claim here.
That's the real thing.
Trying to tie down your claim. You told us, quote, opposite directions when talking specifically about star rotations, right?
Do you mean a couple of years ago? That wasn't today, was it?
I don't know. Maybe it was 10 years ago. I think it was 9.3.
Which part are we? What are we
maybe
disagreeing
9
about?
point.
What are we
Maybe I'll
disagreeing about
answer
here?
and just get talked through. 9 years ago. Does it matter?
So the sun rises in the west. Are we on the same page, or is that?
We're just trying to figure out
No,
what
we
you
didn't
meant by
pass on that
opposite
as well.
directions. We're trying to tie it down with the sun and how it comes up and goes down again. Does it go in opposite directions or what?
So the sun does rise in the west for most of us, anyway, depending on where we are in the world. Like,
according to you, it's going
okay,
in
cool.
opposite.
So we're on the same page. We're getting somewhere. This is more productive. I prefer this style of conversation.
No. You actually think that's the case, do you? Then, so you're saying yes, you think that's the case.
The sun rises in the east.
You sure? What about
And then it
when you
sets
told
in
us
the
about
west.
these stuff going in opposite directions, though? What's that all about?
No, now I've got myself confused because if the sun does rise somewhere, I'm going to double check. Let's have a look here.
Let me get this straight. You don't fucking know which way the sun comes up, you stupid dick.
Well, I don't even know if there's direct.
You need to look it up, do you dumb shit? Are you serious?
In the east.
Do you? I can't quite believe my friggin' ears. JLB's been asked how the sun comes up and goes down. He's having to look it up.
Well, I just want to make sure I've got the directions right.
Yeah, I just make sure you. I just make sure. It's how old are you? Are you kidding me? This is the problem, JLB. When you use fallacy, you get confused because you say stupid shit that you then have to go and look up. You have to question reality based on the stupid fallacies you've used. And then you end up Google searching how the sun comes up. Yeah, JLB, you're pretty stupid, mate. Go and look it up. Let us know how the sun comes up, mate. Let us know how your Google search got on. My God.
Well, it says here it's west-southwest technically. Is that what you're looking for? Like where the sun sets?
So when does it go in? When does it go in the opposite direction?
What do you mean by direction?
I don't. You told
rises
us.
in one area of
Sorry,
the
let me get it
sky,
straight.
and then it sets in the
Hemisphere,
other.
opposite directions. Was it? Maybe it was me using a fallacy, you fuckwit. You said it to us, you stupid man.
What did I say?
That when you go into different hemispheres, you'll observe these lights going in opposite directions.
Well, I've already told you, I'm not using the word hemisphere anymore. You're the one using that term now.
Yeah,
I'm
what about
saying
those opposite
give me a better
directions?
term
Then?
than
So
hemisphere.
we got that bit. Yeah, we got the stupid affirming the consequent that the TFE and you are in a line with because you're both the same, both stupid. We got that. You relinquish your hemispheric assumption because you're not. Dumb fuck like them. Yeah, thanks for that. You can thank me later as I'm the one who got you to relinquish your stupid idiocy. It's okay, I don't need any help, JLB. I can make you look stupid without any help. Or filibustering from the moron who's just looked up which way the sun comes up. Yeah, we know. You're telling us about how they move in opposite directions, though. I wasn't, you were. Maybe you could explain that without filibustering the question, because you're the one who claimed it, you dumb shit.
Well, again, you're using the word direction. You're the one bringing that up.
Am I? Oh, there was me thinking it was you talking about opposite directions. That was me, was it? Maybe that was me using a fallacy. Oh, I'm really confused. Maybe I'll Google search how the friggin' sun comes up. That's how confused I am. Did you Google search how the sun comes up there, JLB? Did you Google search it? JLB, there is 223 people that listen to you tell a live audience that you'd have to go and search how the sun comes up.
Is west a direction? Because you're no use here.
Yeah, I'm good. I don't need it confirmed by you after a Google search there. Thanks, JLB. I'm all right, thanks. So, about
Google
those opposite
says that
directions,
west is
do you want to
direction.
just break that
That's
down
what it
for us there, Dumbo? The opposite directions of these lights. How
So
does
do you
that
agree
work?
with Google that west
How
is a
does that
direction or
work,
not?
John LeBon? I'm just trying to break down your claim. You're not going to succeed in your burden of proof reversal fallacy. So your claim about the
I'm not
opposite
asking for proof.
directions.
I'm asking your
Maybe the
opinion. Is west a
filibustering will mean
direction?
you never get to
'Cause I would say yes.
the awful, embarrassing truth. Keep filibustering. I'll try again. It's only the 19th time. So about those opposite
Is
directions.
west a direction? Is
20th
east a
time.
direction? Are you
20th
guys
time.
even denying
20th
that now?
time. Maybe you'll
Is
never
it like
get
a
to hear the
direction
question.
fallacy?
You'll never get to hear it, and you won't look really stupid. No, it's already happened, JLB. Over 200 people did hear you suggesting you'd have to look up how the sun works. Yeah, you did. Meanwhile, those opposite
I'm still
directions.
trying to work out how the sun works. Does it
21st
rise in a
time,
direction or
21st
not? Is west a
interruption to the
direction?
same question. Same
Because
question,
Google says it
21st
is, and I agree with
interruption.
Google on this one. West is a direction.
Filibustering for the 21st time there, JLB. It's not embarrassing at all, is it?
Is west a direction? Google
I
says
don't know.
yes,
I'm trying to
but
pin you
I'm a bit
down when
confused
you
now, 'cause
told
maybe
us.
You think it's not.
You asked me
I'm
a
here to
question and
learn.
kept talking there, JLB. I was trying to pin down those opposite directions you were telling us about. Maybe you could explain your claim about
west
the
and
Lite's
east, opposite directions or not?
22nd time of filibustering the question that it's embarrassed him. 23rd time? Let's have a try.
West and
23rd,
east, opposite
23rd
directions or
attempt
not?
won't come
I would
either.
say yes.
It'll have to be 24 times, I'm afraid, ladies and gentlemen. All 225 of you can get to hear JLB filibuster his opposite directions claim for a 25th time.
West and east, opposite directions.
It's
I might
your
be wrong
claim.
about
You
this,
tell
man.
me.
I've been wrong before many times.
West and east.
It says here, west is directly opposite east. That's what I thought. So what are you arguing about now?
Well, you told us the lights would move in opposite directions. You Dumbo. Not remember telling us the
So
stars
if you
would
were
move in
to use
opposite directions.
time-lapse photography...
Maybe when there's a small protracted silence, is actually John Le Bon's turn to filibuster for the 26th time. Yet you were telling us about how when you move into different hemispheres, the ones you now relinquish, you don't want to be stupid like the TFE guys after all. You relinquish those hemispheres. Yeah, we know. Yeah, thank you would be a nice reward for you relinquishing that stupid shit that you told people. Yeah, we know. But now we're down to the opposite directions you told us about. We need you to explain what you meant.
Well,
given
west
that
and
the
east
sun,
are opposite directions, so I'm pretty confident of that.
that they do move in opposite directions. So which way does the sun come up and go down
But
again?
west and east are opposite directions. Do you agree with that at least?
And which way is the sun going?
West and east, opposite directions. Yes or no? Because if you don't even agree with that, then we're going to get nowhere here. We're at an impasse.
That's a non-responsive reply to anybody who's listening and is a regular viewer.
So you won't even say if west and east are opposite directions?
I'm trying to tie down your claim about the lights moving in opposite
How about
directions.
clockwise and anti-clockwise? Are they
Do
opposite?
they?
Can
Do
we
they?
say
Let's
that,
just
or is
tie
it
that
also a
down.
fallacy?
Do you realise
The
you were
clockwise
wrong?
fallacy.
Should we do this 27 more times, or do you now
What am I wrong
appreciate?
about this time? I think east and west are opposite directions, bro. I
I'll
think
take
most
a
people
vote.
would agree with
I'll
that.
take a vote from the audience. Should we do this 27 more times?
Ask the people on the panel if they think west and east are opposite. I think they'll agree with me, man.
Okay, I'll ask them. Does anybody on the panel, like JLB, think the lights will move in, quote, opposite directions?
No, ask them about east and west first. We have to start
So we're
with
just
first
getting a
principles here.
few opinions from the panel. That's not you,
east and
JLB. We're
west
taking a
opposite
straw poll.
directions, Nathan.
We're taking
Come
a
on,
straw
man.
poll, JLB. We're taking a straw poll. We know your
east and
stupid
west
position on this, JLB. We've well and truly established the opposite directions that you stated, stupidly. Now we're just getting
Well, east and
a
west are opposite
straw
direction.
poll opinion from other people that aren't you about how stupid your claims were there, JLB.
Opposite directions. I stand by that.
Well, you're wrong. You're wrong. You're stupid.
So now east and west aren't opposite directions?
Movement of the stars won't be moving.
Is
in
that what
opposite
you're saying?
Are you going to ask me what I'm saying in the middle of reiterating how stupid your claim is?
East and west, are they opposite directions or not?
That wasn't what you claimed. Your claim wasn't, hey, Nathan, east and west. Now, that wasn't what you claimed. I mean, you can try and boil down your claim to, hey, Nathan, east and west. No, that's not what you claimed. You were claiming hemispherically, like the TFE numpties, that spherical assumption you made fallaciously, that stupid shit that makes you the same as those idiots. You've relinquished that bit. Now we're just trying to get you
Well, the
after
hemisphere word, I'm
26
happy to renounce the
make that
hemisphere.
27. 27 attempts to relinquish that stupid shit of the lights in the sky moving, quote, in opposite directions.
Is it my turn to talk? I don't want to filibuster here.
That's non-responsive. So that's 28 times I've put it to him. Asking whether or not he's got permission to speak in a silence is non-responsive to the opposite directions that we've put to him. I mean, it's obvious that he can't cope with the stupid shit he says, or we wouldn't have to do this 29 times. Maybe we'll take
So
a
east
vote.
and west opposite directions, yes or no?
Sorry, why am I being asked this? That wasn't your original claim. Your original claim was that when traversing hemispheres by assumption, we'd see stars moving in, quote, opposite directions. That's what you told us. So repeating what east and west are over and over again is just making you look like a filibusterer that in 30 attempts can't cope with the question.
You still stand by that?
Yeah, he still stands by that stupid
East versus
shit.
west. East versus west, opposite directions, boys. I stand by that. Does anyone here want to
There
argue
you
that
go.
point?
You just dug your grave. Because now you're going to have to show where on earth the sun rises in the west and sets in the east if they're going in opposite directions. Do you follow that, Crayon Muncher?
Good luck.
Yeah,
So
good
you're
luck.
saying that I said the sun goes in opposite directions?
Yeah. The implication of your
Well,
claim.
now you're committing the
yes,
straw.
That's correct.
than that. Nathan's been teaching you for years about fallacies, and you've learned nothing. You need to do better than that. I was talking about the apparent rotation of the stars.
Sorry, part of your claim had hemispheres in it. Sorry, part of that claim had a hemispheric assumption that you've already relinquished, you dumbo. Are you going to now try and defend this? Do you want to defend it?
We need to start with first principles.
Sorry, how are you going to defend it? You've already relinquished hemispheres, dum-dum.
I'm not using the word hemisphere anymore. I'm not using that term anymore.
But how are you going to defend this claim, you stupid man? How are you going to defend it then?
You've had 9 years and you still haven't come up...
Yeah, so part of his premise he's already relinquished, yet he still thinks he's got a justifiable right to defend it? What an idiot.
Can you please show us where the sun on Earth rises in the west and sets in the east?
I don't think it does do that, do you?
Well, yes, you do. Because you said that the stars spin in opposite directions.
Well, now he's doing the crystal ball fallacy, Nathan. He's doing the crystal ball fallacy to me. Come on now. You need to put this guy back in line.
Okay. So you don't think it's unreasonable that it would be charged at you by implication with the sun? Okay. Do the stars move in opposite directions? End quote you.
Okay, so suppose someone is in Sydney and some other guy is in,
yes or no
Sofia,
question.
Bulgaria.
Yes or no. Are you dumb? Do you not understand a closed question?
Is that also a fallacy?
No, it's a closed question about whether or not the stars move in opposite directions because you've claimed they do. So I'm asking you to clarify with a yes or no to answer in the affirmative or negative if they do or do not move in opposite directions because you've said that they do. Do you still stand by that or not?
When did I say the stars rise? Hold on a second. You guys are confusing things here.
So no, move in opposite directions. We're gonna lie about what we've said now. Are we going to change it to rise? Just rise. No, move in opposite directions, end quote you. Do they or don't they?
Well, I don't think the stars move, to use your terminology. It's
your terminology.
Rotation.
Your terminology.
And I've been using that for
He's just going to straw man me and burden of proof reversal fallacy me, isn't he? It's not my claim we're talking about here, John. It's yours. You may not like
well, it is all your claims.
You may not like that you get held to task on the stupid shit you've said, but we are absolutely discussing your claims when you say opposite directions for the star movement. Do you stand by that still, you dumbo?
I don't stand by your straw man of me, no.
It's not a straw man, it's your claim. That's what you've told us on multiple occasions. That's definitely not a straw man. That's me detailing your claim that you make. Like the stupid idiots over at TFE, they make the same stupid shitty claim.
This is all very straightforward, and I think you know all of this. But to be honest, the stars aren't even that interesting anymore. We've got a midnight sun in Antarctica that you can't explain, and you wouldn't have predicted. In fact, you said it wouldn't be there.
Explain.
Is that a scientific prediction since we're off the sun rising in the west and setting in the east, you glue sniffer? Was that a scientific prediction?
You can't even tell me if east and west are opposite directions.
Was
so
that
what are you
a
doing
scientific prediction?
Nathan needs help, but not from you. You're weighing him down like a 100-pound anchor.
He can't cope. Questions at him, he can't cope. He hasn't answered anything yet.
I can tell you that east is opposite of west. You guys can't even answer that.
Nobody asked you that, though. But what, you can only answer your own questions that are non-relevant to your claims. Wow. John LeBon's answered his own questions that aren't relevant, nobody asked, and are as a deflection to the actual questions he hasn't answered. Wow, what an achievement.
We can move on
I'll
from
answer
your
any
train
question
wreck
you've got, man. You have to give me a chance to answer it,
move
though.
on from that.
Okay,
you can't be filibustering
do
all
the
time.
stars...
It's not constructive.
Okay, as you previously claimed, do the stars move in opposite directions?
I don't claim they move. It is an apparent motion with timeless photography.
Oh, my God. Dude, you made this idiot claim for nearly a decade. When I first come out here, you made this dumbass claim. You, Professor Dave, is still making it.
Not just once on a comment. Not just once on a video that I shared. You've made it multiple times verbally.
He stood by it here today.
I'm standing by east is opposite of west and clockwise is opposite of anti-clockwise. You guys won't even put your own position forward on that.
Anti-clockwise are not
it's all word games and P's and Q's and fat man with you, but in terms of the actual evidence, you're trying to evade it.
Hey,
like
idiot,
you're trying to
those
evade
aren't
this
directions.
Antarctic midnight sun.
They're not objective directions, are they? They're not objective directions
Antarctic
on
sun
your
exists,
equivocating
and that's been demonstrated. And no amount of P's and Q's and fat men are going to change that.
He's just filibustering you. Yeah, he projects this shit out when he's talking to other numpties that believe his musings as he divines people's thoughts. He's just filibustering everything we say to him.
You're a dumbass cracker. Back to the, is that a scientific prediction with TFE? You said prediction. What type of prediction are you talking about, John LeBon?
Yeah, well, 6 months ago, well, whenever it was, maybe 4 months ago, I found out about this so-called final experiment, which is an experiment, it's an observation. And when I found out this was happening, I was
He's not answering the question. He's just filibustering with a load of ramble waffle that doesn't answer or address anything that's been put to him.
Some of the
it's not the John LeBon show.
You've been asked something. No Midnight Sun.
It's not the John LeBon show. You've been asked something, John. Maybe non-stop filibustering. You've just been asked something. You've completely ignored him. Now you're non-responsive to
what's the question? Is it about the Midnight Sun?
So can you only cope with questions that are on the subject that you want to talk about?
I can talk about anything, but the Midnight Sun is the topic of the town right now because it exists, and you said it didn't exist, and half your panel thought it wouldn't exist because they believed you and all the other flat earth promoters, but now it turns out it does exist. This is big trouble for the flat earthers, massive trouble. Massive.
John LeBon.
I don't know how you guys can whiz that out of this.
Maybe if I talk really fast, this would be trouble for the flat earthers. Even the ones that we pointed out are affirming the consequent by using and affirming the consequent fallacy. Yeah, we can talk fast too, John. No trouble for us. Because we don't affirm the consequent and use fallacy. The same fallacies that you've used, like TFE have used, we don't do that. You do that.
Well, he filibustered.
I don't believe in outer space, so let's not get down that path. Outer space is a hoax. You know that. I know that coming now.
I didn't say that you're same as them because you say host of space isn't or is real. You affirm the consequent with hemispheric assumptions, same as they did. That's the comparison. Don't have to accept that. I already
said to you half an hour ago.
You can tell me how unfair it is and talk straight through the middle of me with your filibustering. You can do that, but ultimately that's not the comparison I've drawn when I say you're the same as the TFE guys. I'm saying this, you're the same as them because you also used the same fallacy they did when you assumed hemispheric positioning that you've relinquished here today. Yeah, that makes you the same as those idiots, John LeBon. It doesn't matter how much you chant through me. You are the same as those idiots claiming an experiment and affirming the consequent. You're the same as them.
It's an observation.
You're the same as them. Not because of space.
But it's not an experiment. It's
stuttery much. Not an experiment. Yeah, you're the same as them because you use the same fallacy, John. Don't have to like it.
Which fallacy?
Affirming the consequent. You used it when you assumed filibuster much. Filibuster much. Maybe if I am asked what fallacy you've used, that they used, making you the same as them, chanting through the response of affirming the consequent fallacy you didn't know, will change that you're the same as them because you've used the same fallacy. With your hemispheres that you relinquished. Remember?
Well, I think it's a false equivalence fallacy. I think you're using the false equivalence fallacy.
No, I didn't make this fallacy. It's you making the claim of hemispheres.
I'm not making that claim.
No, you relinquished it on this show. You were, till I pointed out how wrong you were. It's the fallacy that they're using. You relinquished it after it was pointed out. You didn't know what the fallacy was, but then when I point out that makes you the same as the idiots at TFE, you keep telling me, no, I don't believe in space. No, but you do use the same fallacy they used, JLB.
No, that's a false equivalence.
No, definitely not. You affirm the consequent of hemispheres there, JLB.
I don't get why you're so focused on...
Oh, maybe if you tell me what I'm not focused on. You used hemispheres.
Well, you should focus on the midnight...
I should focus on your hemispheres, because it makes you the same as the people at TFE. You are the same, an idiot. You affirm the consequent like they affirm the consequent. That's what you've done. That's why I've said you're the same as them. Not space. That was your reply. Space. No. Affirming the consequent. John.
Am I affirming the consequent when I said that there was a midnight sun in Antarctica? Is that also affirming the consequent fallacy?
No, when you begged the question of hemispheres and talked about stars moving in opposite directions.
I didn't mention hemispheres.
Maybe if you filibuster the reply, it won't make it the stupid idiocy that makes you the same as them. Because you're not believing in space? Who cares? You affirm the consequent about hemispheres and an observation of the movement of lights. You use the same fallacy, just slightly different lights and how they move. It's the same fallacy, though. You relinquished it here today, John.
What does it have to do with the midnight sun in Antarctica?
It's got everything to do with how stupid you are when you use the same fallacy. Asking me what it's got something to do with when I'm pointing out exactly how stupid you are for using the same fallacy is what it's got to do with the final experiment. We can move on, but you're not humble. You're not humble. You're filibustering.
Right now.
You're filibustering how wrong you were. Yeah, we know you relinquished your hemispheres, John. We know.
It's the red herring fallacy. You're trying to distract...
No, it's not a red herring. Otherwise, you wouldn't have relinquished your hemispheres you've been saying for the last 10 years.
Sleight of hand.
Not sleight of hand, hemispheres. Cat got your tongue?
I'm not talking about hemispheres. You're talking...
No, you were for 10 years. But it's fallacious. The same fallacious reasoning TFE used, making you the same as them.
Eventually, you're going to have to face up to the midnight sun existing, Nathan.
Eventually, you're going to have to face up that you use the same fallacy that those idiots use, making you as stupid as them.
You are eventually going to have to face up to the midnight sun existence, man.
Okay, midnight sun exists in Antarctica and in the north. However, the affirming the consequent fallacy that's used to pretend this proves something was also used by an idiot named John Le Bon. We broke it down before they even went. You use the same fallacy.
So you agree
idiot.
there is a north, though? You just said the
use
north,
the same
so there is a
fallacy,
north.
you idiot. You're the same as them. You use
Hold
the
on,
same
we're getting
fallacy.
somewhere now. I think we're actually...
Maybe if you just make no response to what I've just put to you. Use
Hold
the
on,
same
you
fallacy.
said that there's a north.
Maybe just chanting
So
through the
you do
beginning
agree
of
there's
it
a
and
north
the
and a
end of
south?
it. It'll never come. You used
Dude, I'm
the
trying
same
to...
third attempt. Let's
meet
count them off.
halfway here. So there is a
Count them
north
off
and
for
a
the
south.
audience.
You agree with that part?
Count them off how many times you've used the same fallacy they did. That makes you as stupid as them.
So you agree there's a north? Just going back to what you said 10 seconds ago, you agree there's a north and a south?
No, we don't agree with anything. You're an idiot. How could we agree with you? You used the same fallacy they did. You just used star rotation instead of sun rotation. You're as stupid
Dude, like
as they
30
are.
seconds ago, you said that there's a midnight sun in the north as well. So you agree there's a north and a south? Or was that a Did you misspeak?
No, it's you being non-responsive. I'm pointing out that you want to make me the same as the idiots and presumably belittle us because you get off on it. But when I make you the same as them with fallacious reasoning, you can't cope.
Is there a north and
So you can't cope. He's asking me something.
Because a moment ago you said there is a north. Which I
I
agree there is
said
a north.
you
So maybe we're
used the
actually on the same
same
page here.
fallacy they used and given you an example of how you used it. And as a result, you've relinquished your use of hemispheres. Yeah, so you understand, otherwise you wouldn't have relinquished them, that you use the same fallacy they use, making you as stupid as them. Maybe ask me something.
I'm not using the word hemisphere, though. You're the one who...
Not anymore. You can thank me for that. You were. You've been using it for 10 years. I can definitely quote you. And it won't be some shitty comment on a video you've shared. It'll be words coming out of your mouth that are fallacious and the same as TFE stupid words.
Like the FE black belt. There's an FE black belt on the panel. Does he believe there's a north and a south? He's a black belt. I want to learn from him. Is there a north and a south?
Been made to look stupid. You're
No,
as
he's
dumb
on
as
mute.
they are. You've used the same fallacious reasoning they used. You wanted to come and say you made predictions like they did. No. We break down the fallacies here. Same one you used, Dumbo.
We get back to those predictions, by the way.
Do the stars move in opposite directions as you've claimed?
I don't claim that the stars move. You're misrepresenting me. You're
In
strawmanning me
opposite
again, Nathan. Come on, you're better than
directions.
this.
In opposite directions. End quote. You a moron.
A quote from when? Hold on. When's that quote from?
I'll dig it out in the future. Perfectly
There you go.
reasonable
You're
standard.
making it up. Come on, bro. You're better than this. I'm not claiming
Sorry,
the
this
stars
is not a
move.
fallacious
There is,
appeal
however,
to the
an
future.
apparent
It's not a
rotation on
fallacious.
time-lapse
Sorry,
photography.
this standard that I'm using isn't the same as John's earlier. How could this be an appeal to the future fallacy? I'll get it later. I've definitely can, by the way. I can dig it out. I've got recordings of John saying it to us. It's not a comment on a video from 10 years ago. I can absolutely, without question, get quotes of John that are my own recordings on my own show of him telling us the stars will move in opposite directions. I can quote you. Yes. Do you stand by that? I'll trim it out and put it next to your answer now.
Well, here's a quote for you, okay? I'll read the quote. An escape.
Non-responsive. I don't need a quote reading. I just need a yes or no. Do the stars move in opposite directions? Yes
occurs when
or
someone
no?
claims their
Do
worldview
you
will
still
soon
stand by that
prevail
shit? Do you
because
stand
the
by it
evidence
still?
is in the making of that. Their victory is just around the corner. So is this
Why are you waffling about someone else's quote? Why are
is
you
that what
doing
you're
this?
accusing me of?
Why are you doing this?
Because you accuse me of a fallacy that I haven't even heard of before.
You've claimed the stars move in opposite directions, and I'm asking if you still stand by that stupid shit that I can absolutely, without question, quote.
Evidence that you're using the fallacy.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm asking you about
Oh
your
my
claim
God.
about stars moving in the opposite directions. I'm not using a fallacy when quizzing you about your use of the same fallacy TFE use. Opposite directions, right?
I'm not associated with TFE. I don't even think it's an experiment. So again,
You are, because you use the same fallacy they used. But for the fact that you use the same fallacy they use, you wouldn't be associated with them. You are, because you also
Well, East and
affirm the
West isn't a
consequent
fallacy.
with star rotation, and no amount of filibustering will change your use of the same fallacy they used.
Except I don't agree with them. If they're saying that they think that there's outer space, that's not true.
Sorry,
man.
that's a non sequitur fallacy. Nice
He's too dumb to
diversion.
realize it.
Is lost badly. No amount of obfuscation, filibustering, and non sequiturs will get away from your
Well, you're
claim
refusing to answer if there's
of
East-
stars moving in the opposite directions that you said they did. I can quote you.
What's next
So
from
we're
this
making
guy?
some progress.
What's next from him? What is next from this guy? Aunt Jenny's tomatoes in Tupelo, Mississippi?
Bro, I had Sasha earlier
Wow.
talking to me about roosters
Get your
crowing at
dumb
the
ass
sun.
outta here.
Okay, this has been quite an interesting conversation, I have to say.
Yeah, it has.
It's completely non sequitur. So I've pointed out that his use of the same fallacy TFE used makes him as moronic as them, and all he keeps doing is obfuscating and
Well, that's a false
filibustering.
equivalence
That's all
fallacy,
he can
Nathan. You know
do.
that, come on.
Yeah, he
Did you
doesn't.
ever-
He
did you
doesn't
ever-
like the fact that he's made to look as stupid as them with his star rotation in opposites. That claim that he's made, and I can quote. Yeah, absolutely, without question, I'll dig it out in the future. And your
I hope you do.
inability to
I look
either
forward to-
confirm or deny by pure filibustering whether or not you stand by that stupid shit you used like TFE did.
Just a second, Nathan. He said my name. Did you ever hear Sasha speaking about elevation, not about rooster?
Thanks, Sasha.
No, explain the elevation to me. I'm here to learn.
No,
Okay.
See what he's doing.
I would
This
like
is
to
his
know
cry for
to-
help, Sasha. Sasha. This is his cry for help, and you're giving him a little lifeline as I absolutely nail him to the wall by how stupid he and TFE are by association. They're the same. They use the same fallacies.
You're using the guilt by association fallacy now.
Is that right?
How
No,
many
I'm
fallacies do
pointing
you
out
plan
you
to
used
use
the
that?
no. Maybe too dumb to listen again.
Yes. That's what you're doing.
No. What I'm using is your use of fallacious reasoning with star rotation in opposite directions. Same
I'm not
fallacy
trying to
that
make you
TFE
guilty by
used.
association.
No, about
That's like
filibustering.
Like, I understand that you're...
Yes, you are filibustering. Yes, you use the same fallacy. Yes, you're stupid like them.
John Lee
I don't believe that in space, though.
Sorry, was it guilt by association when you tried to peg us down on what predictions we made like they made? Projection much?
Well, I didn't predict that you'd slip up and use the word north. That was a bonus a few minutes ago. So I'll be clipping that
North?
one for future use.
What the hell does north have to do with
You
anything?
said there's a north. You said that there's a midnight sun in the north, which means by implication there might be other directions as well. So you kind of conceded room there, which I'm happy about, because to deny directions, to be a direction denier, that's even worse than being
We
flat
for
earth about.
nine
Come on, man.
directions, John LeBon, you clown.
But you think when I point out the fallacious reasoning with examples you've used, and exampling the fallacy with detail of the fallacy by example, that you telling me I'm denying directions is the best rebuttal to you being
Well,
the
if you
same as
refuse to
TFE?
admit that west and east are in opposite directions,
Need to be
then yeah, you're kind of denying the directions. Like directions denying is a new low even for you, Nathan. Come on now. West and east are opposite.
Institutionalized, JLB. You're a clown.
You're very silly. Why do you keep using fallacies? You've used dozens of them here. Why?
Well, there is a midnight sun. Is that a fallacy? Oh, it's the P and Q fat man fallacy. Don't worry, folks. There is no midnight sun. It's the P and the Q fallacy. Just ignore it. Ignore the midnight sun. Just go back to bed, America. Everything's gonna be fine. The flat Earth survives another day.
Did you want me
Because we
to
got the P and the Q fat man fallacy.
let me know when you're done, JLB, and I'll try and unpack your straw man when
I'm
you're
done. I'm good. I'm
you
good.
done? Can I unpack your straw man, or will you interrupt me immediately? How triggered
Well, it's your
are you?
show, dude. I'll shut up and you can speak. It's your
Okay,
show.
well, we'll see how we'll test that theory. We'll see how triggered JLB is when I unpack his straw man fallacy. So, is it the suggestion that just seeing the sun is a fallacy? Because that's what you've just stated. Seeing the midnight sun, that's fallacy. No, I put their fallacy into the form being used by them and you. No response? Clearly not.
Do you want me to speak? Because every time I try and speak, you accuse me of filibustering. So I'm just shutting up and letting you speak now. It's your show.
Okay, I'll reiterate what I've just put to you. The utilization of an affirming the consequent fallacy is what TFE have done. Assumed antipodal positioning, that's if P. Then Q, sun's rotation. Sun's rotation, that's Q. Therefore, P, antipodal positioning. Now, by pure coincidence, you also made the same fallacy when you used hemispheres and star rotation in opposite directions. Ergo, you are just as stupid as they for using the same fallacy with an almost identical claim. They use the sun, you use stars. Hope that's clear.
Okay, so you're saying that because I used the word hemisphere a few years ago, I'm as dumb as the flat Earth experiment people today, the final experiment people today. That's the conclusion, basically.
No, couldn't listen. Too dumb. The audience could comprehend what I just said. I said it really slowly. Because you
then get someone on your panel to repeat it without you leading them.
You won't
See if they can
filibuster me.
repeat what
That
you just
didn't
said in
last
their own
very long.
words.
You won't filibuster me. My show and all that. No, you are filibustering me right now. You didn't listen. You couldn't cope with what I said. You didn't comprehend the words that came out of my mouth because you didn't repeat them back accurately. That means you are lacking comprehension skills. Did you want me to repeat?
Or maybe your
it to
communication skills aren't
Would
that
you
good. That's
like
also
me
possible.
to repeat that which you failed to comprehend the first time?
No, I'd rather someone on your panel see if they can repeat it.
No, it's okay. I was talking to you, Mr. Idiot that can't listen.
Well, if
You
your
can't
communication
respond.
is so good,
So
surely
there's
someone
no
on the
point
panel can
continuing
repeat
the
what you just said
discussion
in
with
their
you,
own words.
JLB. JLB, you don't want me to repeat it. You want someone else to. So you're an unreasonable man to talk to. You don't want me to repeat it. I can't continue the discussion with you. You don't seem reasonable. You can't be humble and acknowledge your lack of comprehension of the words coming out of my mouth in spite of no interruption and filibustering on this occasion. You failed to repeat them back accurately. You misrepresented what I put to you. Pathetic. So now I can't continue the conversation because you didn't comprehend what I said and you don't want me to repeat it. You want someone else to. What a dick. Anything else? Anybody else? We're done with JLB. Can't comprehend the words coming out of people's mouths.
We're done with him 7 years ago.
Meanwhile, apparently JLB thought that a little comment I put when sharing a video on Facebook was worthy of holding me over a barrel. That worked out well. Meanwhile, JLB's really stupid. He used the same exact fallacies that the final experiment used when affirming the consequent for a hemispheric assumption. Very stupid. Totally ignorant. Perhaps JLB will learn something here today, like what an affirming the consequent fallacy is. I mean, he got halfway there. He relinquished his hemispheres that he'd been assuming for quite some time, verbally, not in some comment on some video he shared 10 years ago. He's been saying it for years, like actual words coming out of the Dumbo's mouth. With these fallacious reasonings he only learned about today. I mean, it begs the question why on earth he hasn't learned about these fallacies earlier. I don't know. Some people are just really stupid. It's fun having you, though, JLB. It was nice trying to get this stuff through to you in a couple of hours of filibustering. I hope you realise I am just as stupid as them you are now, given we've explained it to you. I know, you'll have to listen back to the recording. You couldn't comprehend it in spite of listening quite closely with no filibustering. Did you think you'd be mocking us here today, JLB?
No, I came to ask you questions, man, and you couldn't answer them, which is kind of sad. But I think we did make some progress. There is a north, at least. So maybe next time I come back, you'll agree there's a south, and then we can just step by step get you to understand that directions are real. And then from there, we can move on to clockwise, anti-clockwise, and you'll get there eventually, Nathan. I'm confident in you, man. I have high hopes.
I'm glad you've relinquished your hemispherical assumption by way of an affirming the constant fallacy with star rotation. That stupid shit was really idiotic every single time you said it. I'm glad you've made progress and relinquished some of the dumb shit you say. We've all made progress today. I've learned what north is. I've learned that there's going to be filibustering regardless of what I summarise on my show in spite of the lies of JLB not filibustering me. Apparently his misrepresentation of what I've learned is what north and south are. I think anybody with half a brain will realise that I definitely know what north and south are. With respect to a flat plane, of course. Obviously, you can't assume spherical anything when you're talking about directions with respect to a plane. They're flat earth proofs. But obviously, idiots like JLB that go around babbling about hemispheres by assumption in affirming the consequent fallacies, they will actually learn something here today. Me learning what south is, no, that definitely didn't happen. I already knew. You
So was
just thought
Australia in the southern
hemispheres
plane?
were worthy
Is that
of...
how you would describe it?
You thought that filibustering would change how stupid you were. Because you absolutely came here to mock flat earthers. But instead, it turns out that the fallacy we've been desperately trying to point out to you every time you came was the same fallacy TFE were using. What would you know? And you subsequently relinquished your hemispheres, you dumb shit. Good. You've learned something, haven't you, JLB? Good lad.
Years ago, man.
Good lad. You don't use the hemispheres anymore, Mr. Filibusterer. Good lad. You've learned something.
Not around flat earthers, anyway.
Good lad. Good lad. Keep off the drink, and you won't be saying stupid shit like TFE do, like you have been. Just keep off the drink, you frickin' alcoholic, and you won't be saying those stupid things anymore. You won't have me, the flat earther, humiliating you with your hemispheres. Will you, JLB? Just keep off the pop, lad. Yeah, I can add hom too. You frickin' alcoholic.
No, I know you can. It's one of your main go-to tactics. That, the
yeah, what, like you did with QE?
Yeah,
like you opened with QE? Like the tactic you opened with QE, you mean? Yeah, there's only one alcoholic here. It's you. You don't have any self-control, JLB. That's why you're talking through me now. The same reason you're talking through me is the reason you can't cope with drink. You have no self-control. That's why you filibustered me the whole time. Lack of self-control. No discipline. That's your problem. That's okay. I can help you with that. Come back any time, JLB. I'll whip you into order, son. Point out the fallacies you've been using all these years. Yeah, we'll get that filibustering out of you, son. We'll hopefully educate you on something. Like the use of hemispheres.
Is that a serious invitation?
Like the use of hemispheres, son. It's okay, son. You're not in charge. I am. When I tell you what's what about hemispheres, it's all right, son. It's all right. We don't need you to be telling us about hemispheres that you'll just relinquish 10 years later. After babbling about them for 10 years non-stop. 10 years non-stop of this filibusterer. Some people are incapable of learning and will remain stupid. They lack self-control, the discipline to learn. Those people become alcoholics like JLB. 10 days sober? Was it 10 days sober or 12?
12.
Wow. Meanwhile, us on the sober train, we can cope with things like fallacies. We learn about them, and then we don't humiliate ourselves in front of flat
angry,
earthers.
Though. Maybe you could use a drink. It might help calm you.
No, I'm good, thanks. I'm all right. I can drink as and when I choose to. I don't like it very much, so I don't choose to.
You just prefer to yell and get angry and rant?
No, I have a drink if I want to. I might get absolutely shit-faced. But of course, it won't cripple me as a person like it has with you, and make you say stupid shit like TFE do, and then be humiliated by flat earthers after accusing somebody of drinking when you're only 12 days sober. Projection much?
Well, no, QE is an alcoholic. I'm pretty sure he is, though.
Oh, really? Is that not your projection, Mr. 12 Days Sober? I'm pretty sure that's you projecting your own inability to have self-control when it comes to drink and making the use of fallacies like TFE did. You just don't have any self-control.
I'm not judging alcoholics, man. I'm in no place to judge.
Well, why would you accuse QE of being one, given that you're only 12 days sober? It seems like your fears about your own lack of self-control were projected onto QE there, JLB, Mr. Alcoholic.
No, it's not projection if it's true, though.
Yeah, it's absolutely projection, you dumb shit. You're an alcoholic.
Yeah, but I'm 12 days sober.
Yeah, but you're 12 days sober. Yeah, you're projecting. I think what you need to do is sit back, try not to drink for a couple more days.
I am trying not to
drink. Then, when you're nice and sober and can cope with a reasonable conversation, Mr. Self-Control, you can learn what fallacies are. Now, I know that being sober makes you think that filibustering will make you win. You're delusional.
What do you think filibustering means, Nathan? Because that's what you've been doing all call. What do you actually think filibustering means?
Definition is JLB.
I'll look it up. It says JLB's an alcoholic projector that doesn't know how to use decent arguments and projects his own fallacy use onto people when he says they use the fallacy. I think that's what it says. When it says filibuster, it says you're a moron. It's got your face right next to it.
Well, you can't drink in Australia. It's too expensive, mate.
You're not in Australia. Your self-control made you poor. You kept drinking all your money away, didn't you? So you had to move to some shitty country that was cheap because you couldn't afford to drink in Australia.
That's not a nice thing to say about bulk.
You're only 12 days sober. You left Australia to find cheap booze, didn't you?
I left Australia 6 years ago.
Stutter for me, you alcoholic little bitch. You left Australia because you couldn't afford to feed your alcohol problem.
Keep going, Nathan. This is good. What else you got? Keep going.
No, it's a fact.
How many drinks does it take?
It's a fact.
I got one.
You
How
probably
many
drink because you're
drinks does it
depressed. You probably drink because you're depressed.
Sometimes I do, actually, Nathan. You got.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. You're an idiot. I'd be depressed if I was as stupid as you. I'd turn to drink if I was a moron and use fallacy. I'd turn to drink if maybe you'll get some pain relief by coming to a Flat Earthers channel and telling them that they're stupid, based on your crystal ball divination and
When
what
did
they
I say
think.
that you're stupid? Hold on a second. I came here to ask the panel what they think about stuff. You won't let them speak.
I spoke. How many drinks does it take to have the sun rise in the west?
How many drinks do the
You tell me,
do the
Kiwi.
stars? Is it 10 drinks they go in opposite directions?
Is it over there right now?
Is it 10 drinks they go in opposite directions? How many drinks
If you
before they
think
go in
about
opposite
it,
directions?
what position you are?
How
the
many
sun either
drinks?
rises in the
I've
left
got
or
a
the
question
right,
for JLB.
depending on
He's
which way
very
you face.
reasonable. He won't filibuster. How many drinks before the stars go in opposite directions? Yo, fuck quick, alcoholic. How many drinks do you have to have before the stars go in opposite directions, JLB? Or maybe you'll tell me what
that to me
north
or
is.
to you?
Drinks like water.
Was that a question to me or to QE, bro?
No, you drunk. Which way will they go when you've had 10
I'm sober
drinks?
today,
will it
bro.
be
That's why I'm
opposite in
here.
the southern
If I was
hemisphere?
drinking,
Maybe
you'd have to waste my time here.
filibustering.
Goodness gracious.
This is filibustering. You wanted to know what it was. This is it.
You didn't
Me
even
asking
tell me what
you.
filibustering is, Nathan.
Filibustering.
It's
This is
when you
it.
keep
This is it
speaking
right
and
now.
don't give the
You
other person a
doing
chance
it.
to speak.
It's you.
Which
This
you
is
have every right
filibustering.
to do. It's your show, but you're the one filibustering, not me. We have to get that clear.
We'll have a clear airwave situation for me to ask how many drinks it takes for the stars to move in opposite directions. See if he answers.
How many drinks does it take to admit there's a midnight sun in Antarctica that you denied for 8 years?
I'm being told off by my wife. She says, that's not fair, calling him alcoholic. And I said to her, first thing he said
Oh, it
to
is fair.
QE. First thing he said to QE was that he was an alcoholic. So I don't know, Paula. I think it's
No,
only
she's
reasonable.
right. Let's
No,
stop
that's
calling it
reasonable. That's a fair thing to say.
But I am
own it.
being told
I'm
to
happy
take it
to own
easy
my
on you. To be fair,
who I am.
JLB,
That's true.
even my wife's saying that I need to pity you. So I will.
Your wife is saying that you need to pity me.
Yes, the poor alcoholic
get her in
fuckwit
court?
that doesn't know what fallacies are and came in and projected his alcoholism onto QE. Yes. She's saying I should take pity on you, yes.
But weren't you on a live stream yesterday saying that you're struggling to pay your rent and that's why you need more donations to make it more effective?
Yeah, I've got a GoFundMe running now because my stream box is broken. Yes, I'm very poor. Smash the super chat to
Takes
support
pity
this
on me,
channel.
goodness gracious.
And what does that have to do with your use of fallacy like TFE use, making you the same as them?
Well, they believe in outer space, bro, so that's the first one right there.
non sequitur.
Oh, the non sequitur fallacy. That's good, Nathan. Good. You got the whole kit bag out today, including the appeal to the future fallacy. That's seriously a new one. I haven't heard you use that one before. That's good. That's a good one, Nathan. I like it.
You know what's retarded is he says you have the kit bag out. He's the one doing it.
Yeah, he's
Perception.
using the fallacies and I'm identifying them, and he's saying I've got the kit bag out. No, you're using these fallacies and I'm identifying them as you use them.
But you do understand, just accusing someone of using a fallacy doesn't mean they're using a fallacy.
No, I understand that.
No, it doesn't mean that they're wrong. It doesn't mean that they're using a fallacy, you utter moron.
He detailed
God,
it for you multiple times.
Yeah, I know, the P and the Q and the fat man eating pizza. I get it. The
I
midnight
asked you
sun
a
doesn't
question.
matter
What
because
brought
the
you
P's and the
here?
Q's.
What
I
brought
get
you
it.
here today?
That's
Shut up.
incorrect,
What
though.
brought you?
I mean, what we've just had is an alcoholic summary of the affirming the consequent fallacy. So given that we've had the drunk man's attempt to summarise it, because he doesn't understand it, that's why he's been using it. If I eat 10 hamburgers, then my stomach is full. That's if P, 10 hamburgers have been eaten, then Q, my stomach's full. Q, my stomach's full. Therefore, P, I've eaten 10 hamburgers. Even if I've filled my belly with beer, I'm still
Fucking make
full.
me hungry.
That's nasty, Nathan. That's so low.
But what does that have to do with the midnight sun existing that
Good
you
question.
denied?
Oh, my
and
God.
Good question.
Your panel
No.
here denied.
He's taken it down a notch. Maybe we'll get some humility. No worries, I'll explain it to you. The same fallacy, just with a different example. If I assume that my journey to Antarctica will leave me on a hemisphere antipodal from where I began,
But same thing, but
then...
hemisphere though.
Pardon?
I'm just saying there's a midnight sun that you denied for years, and most of the flat earthers
was it
denied
just
for years,
me,
and
or
now it's
did
been
you
shown
ask
to
me a
exist.
question?
So how do you explain
Is
that?
this filibustering? I'm in the middle of answering you. How does this have anything to do with the Antarctic sun?
But you're not
after
answering me. You're just
explaining
making
the
up a straw man about
This is
hemispheres.
filibustering for the ladies and gentlemen that want to know about JLB's projection. This is filibustering. I'm still in the middle of answering his question. I'll try again. I'll count them off and see how many filibusterings we get. Is that the correct plural? Who cares? If P then Q,
You're
Q
literally
therefore P.
filibustering right now, though.
Yeah, that's filibustering. You're not a reasonable man, John. I think the alcohol shit on your brains because you can't cope with the conversation. I'm going to try a third time or
12
not.
days sober, and I'm proud of it.
Do you want me to try a third time or not? You asked me something.
Not if
I'm
you're not going
answering.
to answer the question. How
I
do you
am.
explain the midnight sun? I'm not asking about hemispheres. I'm asking about the midnight sun.
while
Does
I'm
that fit into your
answering,
worldview of the...
while I'm answering his question about how hamburgers and affirming the consequence have got something to do with the midnight sun, he's now asking in the middle of the answer a new question. That's the definition of filibustering right there. That's an example right there. It's not the definition. It's an example. Yeah, that's filibustering.
How do you spell that?
Who cares?
I've never heard this word before.
Anyway, whoever's distracting.
It comes from American politics.
Who gives
where
a shit? It's like it because if P, Earth a sphere, then Q, sun rotation. Q, sun rotation, therefore Earth a sphere. That's how it's the same. Likewise, your version of it, but just with star rotation. It's the same fallacy. Now, going into what filibustering is, by definition, is what a filibusterer needs to do when his question gets answered, making him, with his use of it, look stupid. Now, maybe we could define filibustering in the middle of my example, an answer to your question, JLB. Maybe you'll seem perfectly reasonable as you do that. Or you'll seem like an immature little dick.
Is it my turn to speak? Because I want to filibuster here.
No, I was explaining it was conclusory. There was no invitation to respond.
Who's doing the filibustering here, by the way? Is it me or you?
It was a conclusion. I explained the fallacy. What comes next in a
I'm still
reasonable
waiting for an
discussion? Maybe it's
explanation of the midnight
filibustering.
sun
That'll
that
come next.
doesn't
Maybe
involve
it's
wordplay.
filibustering.
There's
Maybe
a
I'll be
midnight sun
accused
that
of
you've
this.
denied for
Maybe
8
this is me
years.
filibustering.
And now it's been
Maybe
shown to
now
exist.
it's filibustering. Maybe I'll be accused of this. Yeah. Nice tactic.
Unless
We've got
you
a
think it
word
was a
for it
green
too.
screen,
Yeah,
which I don't think
filibustering.
so.
We also call this rumpusing. Everybody in the audience knows what you're doing, JLB. It's not smart. So we'll try again. After being asked by JLB how this connects to his use of the same fallacy with many eating 10 hamburgers and declaring that they're full. Filibustering. Define filibustering. This is it. Yeah, this is filibustering from an alcoholic.
It's about me, brother.
Yeah,
It's about you,
alcoholic
it's about panels,
filibustering.
it's
Yeah,
about audience,
alcoholic
how you explain
rumpusing.
the
Yeah,
midnight sun.
this is his definition of filibustering because he doesn't like the affirming the consequent he's used being highlighted. So he'll filibuster. We call it rumpusing.
Does the midnight sun exist or not in Antarctica? You said no for 8 years. Now you have to admit that it does. That's why you're doing the red herring fallacy and trying to
for
get people's
8
attention on something
years.
else, like a slide of Phantom Magician on stage. Don't look at my left hand. Look over on the right hand. Look at the P's and the Q's and the fat man. Don't look at the midnight sun that we denied for 8 years.
We haven't denied anything for 8 years. I've got housekeeping
You
questions.
denied the midnight sun for
Here we
8
go.
years,
There's
Nathan, and so did all
filibustering.
the flat earthers.
There's a declaration with me responding to it and John LeBon immediately chanting through me. Yeah, we call it Fundy
And it
Meeting.
wasn't just on Facebook.
I'll just shut the line. Why am I shouting? He's filibustering the living shit, rumpusing the crap out of me and projecting it straight onto me. Why am I dealing with this? The guy's a wanker. Yeah, he's using logic that doesn't make any sense. The same
Johnny,
logic he's using
do you
is
mind
being
if I
used
kind
by
of change
CFE.
the subject?
And no amount of reasonable discussion is going to take place with John LeBon. He's not acknowledging a smegging word we say.
Agreed.
It's your show. I didn't mean to interrupt. I'll go on mute and you guys can chat amongst yourselves. Thank you for the hospitality. And I will still be here if someone wants to speak to me, but I'll let you get back on with the show, Nathan. I didn't
Nobody
mean to
cares to speak
upset
to
anybody.
you.
Why
You're
would we ask you anything?
demonstrating fool.
We've proven that you use false logic. You conceded hemispheres. You won't use them anymore. What, from here? Unlike you, that's what you've been using for the last 8 years, as
But
opposed
this is
to
the red herring thing you're doing. You're refusing to
filibustering.
address
Go
the
on
midnight
mute.
sun.
My show. Be
And I
reasonable.
don't
Talk
think you'll
amongst
get away with this
yourselves.
for more
Maybe
than a
we
few
could
weeks.
define
Eventually, your
filibustering.
audience will
Maybe
be like,
define
"Oh, I need an
filibustering.
explanation for the
Maybe
midnight
John
sun."
LeBon could just
The P's and
rumpus
the Q's
straight
and the
through the
fat
middle
man
of me.
won't do it.
Maybe he'll project this filibustering straight onto me later and claim that I'm doing it to him. Try that again. Sorry, did we
So
want to
eventually-
define? Oh no, I won't be
All
trying
audience
it
are gonna
again.
want
It's
an
John Le Bon's
explanation for the Midnight Sun,
filibustering
and they're gonna want you to say
immediately.
that it
This
does
tactic
exist.
won't work, John Le Bon. We all know what you're doing. It's pathetic. Sad.
What am I doing? Tell me.
Filibustering.
What am I doing?
Filibustering.
What does that mean?
Talking straight
Explain
to
what
the
it
top of me. We call it rumpusing. We also call it the fundy mute button.
Yeah, just explain what it means, sir.
Means you're talking straight through the top of me.
That's not what filibustering means, man.
You're talking straight through the top of me when I explain your use of fallacy and compare it to TFE's
You're
use
even
of
using the
fallacy.
term filibuster
Like
wrong.
this. This is
Maybe
you
I gave you
talking
too much
straight through the
credit,
top of
Nathan.
me. It's an obfuscation tactic. We call it rumpusing. You call it filibustering.
Obfuscation? That's what you've been doing with the Midnight Sun, bro. I came here to talk about
Why
the
are
Midnight
you
Sun, and you want to talk
here?
about hemispheres and fat men and P's and Q's and shit. I'm like, how do you explain the Midnight Sun in Antarctica?
Why
It's a simple
are
question.
you here?
Didn't make a claim about it. Oh, right, you're going to hold me to a claim I
Well,
made
you did
before I
make a
did any
claim. You said it
research
didn't
10 years
exist,
ago
just
and
like all
made
the
me
other
talk
flat
straight through
earthers.
the middle of me talking. I got about half a breath out. You're an unreasonable prick, JLB. You don't want to listen to my responses, even in being told how unreasonable
JLB, I
you're
got
being.
an
You're
idea about-
chanting straight through the top of me.
Midnight Sun, in the, like in the
Who
further
is that
south you go
asshole?
down in Australia.
Who is this asshole?
So I come from.
Nobody gives a shit. Nobody was talking to you. JLB's far more famous than you, stupid dick. Shut up. Sorry, JLB. Somebody decided that they wanted to chant straight through the top of me, rumpus the living crap out of me, fundy mute me, pointing out how stupid your use of fallacy is, and how it's the same as TFE's use of fallacy.
Well, he sounded like a decent young chap. He sounded Australian, so I've got a bit of an affinity for the Australians. And,
know.
it's your show, Nathan. You can do whatever you like. So I'm gonna let you guys carry on with the conversation, and I'll go on mute. And
Second time
hopefully
you've
one of
said
your
it.
panel wants to ask you about
I
the
heard
Midnight
it the
Sun.
first time about 3 minutes ago, but you didn't shut up or put yourself on mute. You're a liar.
Well, thank you for the hospitality.
No, it's all right. I thought you'd go on mute. It's the third lie. Same lie, third time's a charm. So you're not going to put yourself
I'm
on
just
mute.
trying to make
You're
a
just a
polite
liar.
goodbye. I'm just trying to.
You're just a liar. Just keep lying about how you're shut up and then not doing it. That makes you a liar. Simple.
I'm just trying to politely say goodbye.
Just trying to lie through your back teeth about shutting up and then not doing it because you're trying to wind us up. You're an irritating prick. You're a dose of thrush.
All right, now that we're done with him and he's going on mute, I want somebody to pull up. This is how important this is. I don't ever remember Nathan ever making that claim, and it's not part of the housekeeping questions. That's how relevant that is.
Yeah, if you want to look at what we've been talking about for the last 8 years, feel free to check out the housekeeping questions that we repeat basically at the start of every single show, so that the talking points we do actually talk about all the time are pretty clear. If you want to dig out something from 8 years ago, before I've talked to a guy who's gone to Antarctica and learned my mistakes, yeah, I can admit if I said prior to talking to Robert Shortman that there was or wasn't a 24-hour sun, and then I got it wrong, I've got a bit of humility, I'll admit it. Okay. Did I make a declaration that there wouldn't be a 24-hour sun in Antarctica? I was wrong. Doesn't prove anything unless you affirm the consequent, like JLB did with his antipodal positioning and star rotations. I mean, I can concede that as well. But the talking points we actually talk about are the housekeeping questions. They're on the table and have been for 10 years. I know I'll be told it's 8 or 6 or 3. Who gives a shit? Those are the talking points we actually talk about here. If someone else has different talking points, like Antarctic suns, then we talk about them based on the use of logic claimed to prove something with those observations. In this instance, people are claiming it proves they're on a ball. Oh, no, definitely not. Like when JLB thought he'd claimed that we've got hemispherical positioning with the star rotation. The sun rotation is exactly the same in terms of its fallacious logic. It definitely won't prove you're on a ball. Like star rotation wouldn't prove you're on a ball either, unless you assume it. I mean, it'd be stupid to do so. And we point that out. And if asked what our opinion was on the sun in Antarctica, we'd point out the fallacious reasoning that's being used by the people who do make that argument, and that ain't us. We make arguments like, is there any Earth curve measurable? Can we get elevation angle measurements from curved surfaces? Can you have sky vacuums next to gas pressure? Those are the things we'd actually ask about. At no point are we asking about whether or not you can have a 24-hour sun in Antarctica, because it's inconsequential.
And even though people stab us in the back, we still try to go educate them. Didn't you go to Jiren and try to explain this to him?
Yes. I did personally. So did many others.
There you go.
Yeah, it won't be the first time somebody thinks, ha ha ha, look how stupid flat earthers were made. I'll go and tease them about how they made predictions, because I guess they would have said one way or the other, and it'll definitely be wrong. All right, what if they didn't make an opinion and just point out the use of fallacy? What are you going to do then? Hold us to task on some stupid shit we didn't claim? Oh, but you did claim it 10 years ago before you did any research. Oh, I'll go back in time and apologise.
Could we focus more on the predictions? That did come up, but we didn't get anywhere with it because John LeBon, if you want to be with me, you got to have a JLB, right? Can we get back to whether those predictions, were those scientific predictions, by the way? Sunshine. Were those scientific predictions of a sun in Antarctica? You brought it up before. Is he still here?
He's talking to you, filibuster.
That quick, sharp look
Do you
up
want me to
scientific.
speak? I said I was going on mute so you guys could speak. I feel like I've spoken too much this chat. This is a flat earther chat and I'm not a flat earther, so I feel like I've already spoken too much. So out of politeness, I'm going on mute.
Too much. No, you've spoken just right. Thank you very much.
Now answer the question.
Nah, let him go. He's done. He was done, what, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 7 years ago? Mr. Star Rotation. Shout out to Professor Dave for carrying that flag. It turned out the same for him.
$231 people. Woo!
And they had to listen to that obnoxious book.
Filibuster, noun, as in obstruction of progress, especially in verbal argument. Delaying tactic, obstruction, procrastination. Like rumpusing.
Does it have a picture of JLB smiling and waving?
It's supposed to.
To be fair, I didn't know. I just used his context as he uses it. I hadn't actually looked the definition up until now.
What about Aunt Jenny's tomatoes in Tupelo, Mississippi?
Wait a second. I remember you saying you used to like this guy, and Q didn't
Still do.
understand why.
JLB's freaking awesome. You kidding me? What makes you think I don't like him? On the contrary. Arguing strongly with someone that you dislike is really hard. Arguing with someone you like is much more fun. I like JLB. What would give you the impression that would change as a result of his interaction today? Quite the contrary.
I never said change. I'm just trying to figure out how you started to like him in the first place.
What's not to like?
For the record, I still like Nathan too. I mean, this is all these debates and what have. I hope that people enjoyed the show this last hour and a half, and I hope they support Nathan, and I hope the people who like his channel continue to support him. And for me, this is I wasn't trying to get into that kind of argument, but hopefully people at least enjoy it. And I learned stuff today. I learned about the future fallacy. I've literally never heard of that before. I learned something today. And also getting into these back and forth, it does force you to think about, like, what do I think? Why do I think it? So it might come across like we hate each other, but if I get an email from tomorrow from Nathan saying, because I sent him an email a month ago saying, do you want to come back on the Conversations? And so far he hasn't taken up the invitation, but if he ever does, he's going to be a VIP on the Conversation. The last Conversation was fantastic with Nathan Oakley. I recommend you go and check it out, conversations.com. So
I would still recommend you,
Nathan.
JLB, wholeheartedly. I was a bit mean about you drinking. I am sorry. That was a bit of a low blow.
No, I was mean to QE, and I probably shouldn't have said that to him because it is a bit judgmental of me to say that, and I do drink too much, so I shouldn't have said that to QE. So
it's
I apologise,
blow.
QE.
It's
You
not
didn't deserve
needed.
that. I take that back. If I ever come back to the show again, I won't do that again. That was wrong.
Yeah, well, low blow by me too, so.
Oh boy, we're gonna sing Kumbaya now.
Indeed.
This is the problem. People don't want us to all get along. They actually enjoy the show more when it's the arguments. If people are actually getting along, people tune out. They can't stand it. So the animosity, real or kayfabe,
that's not
people
it.
love
It's when people can't yield and when people can't admit to something. That's the problem.
I admitted I used the word hemisphere wrong a few years ago, and QE and Nathan explained to me why it was wrong to assume, and I have not used that term in that context since. Like, I have admitted that was wrong of me years ago. So
You used it today, you idiot.
Who was that?
And then he stops talking when I stop talking.
Eli's trying to
That
get
is so
something in.
unreal.
Go ahead, Eli.
That's so unreal. Just, no, people don't like. Forget what people don't like. It's very weird. Ever since I've been out here trying to, figure out what's going on, where the measurements of globe Earth was, come find out it just measures flat. And all that time, you had Globers just trying to be friends, have hot dogs and beers, and it's cool that we go back and forth and reach absolutely zero solutions, and come back the next day and do the same thing over and over again. Unfortunately, that day is long gone. No, we're tired of people like you coming in and committing logical fallacies and not addressing that that's a problem, and then saying, "Hey, good talk, guys. This is the way that we should all be." Happy is like, no, we're not happy. We're annoyed with people like you.
Yeah, well, believe it or not, I literally wasn't trying to piss anyone off, but I understand that is the effect I've had, and it's Nathan's show, man. He can boot me whenever he wants. If he says no JLB, there's no JLB, bro. It's his show, like whatever.
I've extended the show by 2 hours because you're here. I've never had a bigger audience since COVID. 228 people watching. Couldn't have had a better day. I'm elated.
Well, I wish I could take credit for that, but probably that would have happened anyway, given what happened a couple of days ago in Antarctica. But if you want to give me credit, yes, let's give JLB credit for the boosting numbers. Why not?
You know that was spoiled,
coming
right?
out of the woodworks.
Well, look, we've got the debate bit out of the way. Now it's the fun bit of actually chit-chatting.
Oh, really? Are we still live, or is this off the air?
No, this is live. The Antarctic thing was spoiled by McToon. Did you see his mental breakdown?
No, but I saw that song. Whoever made that song, that was pretty funny. The one about "Where's the Guns, Nathan?" Do you reckon that was a real song, or do you reckon that was AI?
It's an original song by Mr. Chadwick.
Yeah, it's actually.
Then that dude is he's a genius. If he's put that together in less than 48 hours, like the entire composition,
Put it together in
he's a
one
freaking
night.
genius.
Yeah, he's very talented. He keeps singing about political stuff.
But yeah, I didn't see McToon's Spurg out, but I did hear you talk about it yesterday, and I haven't gone back and rewatched it. But
basically, he's gone and got a comment from a bit like you, from 10 years ago, where I'm saying you'll be turned away from Antarctica at gunpoint, and it's me detailing a video. I don't know, I haven't gone back and looked at the video, but I assume a video where that's the context of the video, and I'm sharing it on Facebook and essentially detailing what the context of the video is. So it's saying things like, if you try and go to Antarctica, you'll be turned away at gunpoint. Now, obviously, I would assume that you can read between the lines of, if you go anywhere, and that's why I gave you the example, have you ever been through airport security? If you try and go anywhere without permission, aka a guided tour, then yeah, you'll get turned away. Now, you said, well, I haven't tried that with Antarctica. Neither have I. In fairness, would I admit that's a stupid comment from 10 years ago? Yeah. When it was put to me yesterday live, QE said, man, you were dumb 10 years ago. And I went, yeah. Because even though it's me sharing someone else's video where they're making that sentiment, by putting it as the share comment, I'm ascribing myself to that sentiment. I can't avoid that, and it'd be weaselly for me to try and dodge my way out of it. But based on that comment from 10 years ago, McToon's in Antarctica going, where are the guns, Nathan? Where are the guns? And walking around in circles after coming here, while he's there, joining the show from Antarctica to tell me that I'm a liar and there's no guns in Antarctica. I kid you not. And then screaming my name into the abyss of Antarctica. There's no guns, Nathan! Where are the guns? Oh my God. Okay, there's no guns. Okay, it's okay. I'll tell the nurses.
I'm telling nurses, show me the money.
So that's kind of tarnished it. One of their number having a mental breakdown. Anyway, fun.
There's a lot of names I don't recognize in the chat. They're coming out of the woodworks, Nathan.
Probably why there's 200 people here. McToon screaming my name because I've driven him absolutely nuts to the point where he's screaming my name in Antarctica. I mean, what the hell? Why? Well, because it doesn't prove it's a ball. And that's what we've been pointing out is ever since they came up with the idea. So even though he's there, standing there, literally looking at the sun going round and round, it's not enough because he knows it's not proof. And that particular individual, for the audience's benefit, McToon is the name of the guy, also has come to this channel on no less than 100 occasions. I've pointed out to him that he utilises measurements of Earth as a flat plane. The specific example is his 10K challenge, where he's using elevation angles measured off a flat Earth. So why did he put the phone down on me in Antarctica? Because I go, hey, Toon, about those flat Earth measurements in your challenge. He puts the phone down and then walks around in circles screaming, where are the guns? Okay. But it didn't look good at the end of their, seeming victory. They could have just taken the cheap win for all the numpties, and instead, McToon's, it's not enough for him. He's got to scream my name. Great. That's why there's 220 people watching.
Yeah, because he knows the measurements of the globe are all flat.
Yeah, basically.
Next.
Yeah. Well, we're going to get good viewing numbers during the purge. There's going to be a huge number of numpty idiot flat Earth believers that get purged.
Thank the Lord.
Yeah, they've done us a favour. They've got rid of the idiots. Or hopefully they will. We'll see how it goes over the next month, I guess. Speaking of my e-begging, let's see if I'm buying a new Stream Deck or not. Right, shout out to campaign dashboard. Where does it give me the list of people? Bear with me. I'm sure there's at least one other person that I've got to shout out. I can't find their name. There we go. Shout out to Jerry Marshall for boshing me 50 quid. Really appreciate it. What's my total? 100 of 200. I'm pretty sure I can order a Stream Deck with 100 quid. Right. Thank you very much to all of you supporting my GoFundMe campaign, or whatever it's now called. Give, send, go. Really appreciate it. Anything else anyone wants to add before I round out and ask people to stay tuned for the after show?
Round out.
They don't want you to round out and chat. 4 more hours.
Round out. I just got breakfast. I need some entertainment.
Yeah, and Adam just came in.
You'll have to tune in for the after show, won't you? QE live later on. What time's QE live? QE, as we're actually live to advertise it properly.
1 p.m. U.S. Central, 7 p.m. UK, and sometime in Australia, but we don't know where that is.
That's funny.
Here we do. But with that, I am going to say, if you are watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley premiering streams, then stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow. Unfortunately, though, if you are watching this live, this is where we bid you farewell. So, another massive thank you to all of you. Smash the super chat, liked, commented, shared, subscribed, joined as a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member. Hit me up on my Give, Send, Go campaign and all that good stuff. I've been Nathan Oakley. Thank you to Discord and G+ for making today's live show possible, and I'll see you all in the next video.